Pile of shit anyway. Conversation, because people fucking are dying. People have died, and that's what we're talking about. The big fucking issues in the world, but they're so scary, these issues in the world. Let's try and belittle it by let's try and deviate from it, and we'll joke and we'll talk about cream eggs, because that's just as relevant, isn't it? So in the midst of this big fucking back and forth, they start talking about cream eggs. And then Ben's going on his fucking thing, like, and he's just Suis creme whatever it is, the fucking French version of cream egg, and you're like, you fucking despicable piece of fucking shit. Are you fucking serious?
I've not fucking seen any of this.
Are you fucking serious? It's absolutely fucking disgraceful, and I'm just absolutely I mean, obviously we should address it and all that stuff, but it's just going to get me even more fucking angry. And we do have loads of stuff to catch up on, so maybe we should just fucking talk about other stuff.
A lot.
You've got a lot. Calm me down, Paul. Tell me nice things about Christmas.
Well, I actually had a game planned out for the Christmas episode, and I was going to, but I can't do it. The game was that I was going to play you Christmas songs backwards, and you were going to guess what they were.
That's a good idea.
But I couldn't get them until Steve suggested like I can use some fucking audacity to just do it for me. So I've got some Christmas things that actually I told people I want them because I didn't get to use them in the thing with. I don't know what I was fucking thinking. It was just weird Christmas shit I found out. I think that's the fucking most of it. You hear weird Christmas shit, Sam?
Tell me weird Christmas shit, Paul.
Right. In Japan, right, it is a fucking big deal in Japan. What?
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Before we actually got to Christmas and we were going to have our Christmas episode and talk about Christmas stuff, we fucked up on something else.
What?
Because we always talk about North Korea.
Yeah.
And we missed a fucking massive story. It happened like the day before the podcast.
Right.
So...
It's just,
you know, we missed it. We potentially could have known about it and spoke about it, but we dropped the ball on it. It was a big North Korea story. Obviously, everyone fucking knows about it now. The whole Sony hacking scandal and the fucking interview.
I need this cleared up because I don't know what happened. Like at first, I heard that North Korea was like, right, fucking, if you release this film, we're going to take like fucking an action against you for releasing this film because it's like slaying like the great leader or whatever like that. But then like Sony's chatting about hacking things. So did somebody what actually happened?
The hacking thing came first,
right?
And there's still a bit of controversy as to who actually perpetrated the hacking.
Right.
Basically, Sony got hacked, and it was all their fucking personal sort of correspondence.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got Seth Rogen as well. There was like letters leaked to letters. Who fucking writes in letters anymore?
Yeah.
All emails leaked. And where he's like talking to people, and it's, you know, they're talking about other people behind their back, and it's not stuff that you really want leaked. So that happened first, and although some people think it was like Sony insiders, like Sony, like a Sony whistleblower, you know, just it was an inside infiltrated event or whatever.
That it came out.
But of course then Obama came out and said no, it was actually North Korea that was behind it, and the reason being was this film, The Interview. So this was before all this. The hacking thing came out before there was any threat of it being pulled from the theaters.
Because it seemed to me like it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember the North
you know
Korea
why?
thing
It's because
out.
the hacking thing wasn't really as big.
Yeah.
But then when, I mean, it was big, but it wasn't like, when Sony decided to pull it from theaters, then it became like this big story. So a lot of people would have thought that was the first part of the story, and then they might have read about the hacking stuff later. So you know, chronologically, that could
be true. Aye.
But no, Sony were fucking scumbags doing that, pulling them from the theater. That's another fucking scumbag. I think everyone's a scumbag today. I'm just in a bad mood. But
and then they released it on Christmas Day, did they not, in some theatres? In America.
It was supposed to be released on Christmas Day. That was the big plan for it. But then after the hack, and then it was, okay, if you release the film, there's going to be more than just a hack. There's going to, you know, bigger threat and all that stuff. So then they said, okay, because there is threats, and because we've seen things before where that guy went into the cinema, the Batman film, and shot up and all that stuff. Sony didn't want anything like that on their hands, especially if they've been warned beforehand, don't show it or something will happen. You know, we might blow up a cinema here and there. So Sony pulled it. Now that's, if you do that, then terrorism wins. So it's not. You can't praise Sony. You can't excuse them for doing that. They shouldn't have done that. and
like Kim Jong Un, and that's like obviously how they kind of pictured him. But obviously he's not a guy that you can really know what he's like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like if they did like a movie, say like I don't know, like Prince. He's like really famous, but he's maybe not somebody that's like out there all the time and like you know exactly what Prince is like.
Yeah.
But like you don't know what he's like, and I don't know if I liked how they done him. Do you know what I mean?
See, but when you get first introduced to him, you end up really fucking holy shit. Like you feel so sorry for him a little bit, and he's standing there and he's just gave James Franco's what's the guy's name? Dave Skylark. He just gave him like a present, and then he's sitting there and he's like, "Be cool, game." Like, you just end up feeling really, oh shit, this is like a wee boy. This is like, you know.
I suppose they obviously have to make him funny as well.
I think they totally like. I think they got you to empathise with him, and that's probably what they wanted, you know. And I think they achieved it like quite early on. I think there must have been more of him, more of Kim Jong Il that they've cut.
Yeah,
because I feel like you didn't really get to know too much about him.
But I don't know if like the way that like the whole thing about like how he's like be cool Kim, and like the whole thing about he's worried about liking margaritas because they're gay and that, like obviously like that's totally fucking the effect and that. But I was like, I don't know. I think because I like reading about North Korea and like watch all these documentaries and be like, that place is really fucked up and hear about these concentration camps and that. Like I wanted it more gritty, which I obviously wasn't going to get for a comedy with fucking Seth Rogen directing it. Do you know what I mean? But it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good yucks.
I was pleasantly surprised because I expected it to be a shite film, like Dumb and Dumber 2. Have you seen Dumb and Dumber 2?
That's supposed to be really bad.
It's horrendous.
They've
literally just carbon copied the outline of the story of the first one and just done all the exact same jokes, but just in a slightly different context. Terrible. But anyway, so there was a whole North Korea thing which we failed. We should have fucking spoke about that because that's our thing.
Else about that there, but I can't remember what it was. Where are we talking about North Korea?
North Korea have denied as well that they had anything to do with the hacks. Yeah. And was it Kim Jong Un called Obama a monkey?
Did he?
I can't remember what his exact quote was, but called him a monkey and said he was a liar.
It's a wild place. He just does what he wants.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the country, I was like I seen a thing on Reddit today. It was like 40. It was like an album from like North Korea, like a tourist that kind of went inside, and it was kind of like loads of like behind the scenes kind of stuff, and it was just like. It's just like a fucking third world country or something. It's like some of these places you see out in the fucking arse end of nowhere in Kazakhstan, just like fucking like folk going about with wagons and like there's no cars on the streets, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it puts out this image of like a total modern country with like fucking nukes and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's wild. It's interesting though. I like it.
Oh, I like a good documentary on North Korea. But we missed. The point was we missed that. We should have.
A good film.
That should have caught our attention. And then, of course,
that's what I was going to say about it. Eminem was in it.
Oh yeah.
And he fucking the whole bit with him being gay, and I think it's so funny.
Brilliant.
And then do you know what I was watching another like us? They don't like really celebrate Christmas. They'll have like their own equivalent or whatever. But they're fucking like a big deal on December 25th is to go to KFC. Like it's a fucking big deal. Like you need to book tables like 3 months in advance to go to KFC on Christmas Day in Japan.
Wow,
it's crazy.
That's a bit
like
mad.
And they fucking dress the corner up in like Santa gear, and it's just like I don't know, maybe because it's like they're the Western world, eh?
Japan. We're the Western world.
We're the Western world, right? So maybe they see like the Western world and like like fucking like Christmas and like KFC's like such a Western world thing and. Fucking, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
it's a Western
this,
thing,
like,
aye. And then if they think, well, Christmas is kind of a Western thing, so they're putting the two
but
hands
like
together.
apparently it's this big deal. You go and like you book it 3 months in advance.
Yeah, my friends went to New York for Christmas, and they were saying it's a similar thing. Apparently, I don't think it's all like throughout America, but they were saying in New York at least the big thing is on Christmas everyone goes for a Chinese.
All right.
And that's because they have Thanksgiving right before it, you know. So
what is it Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is all about the Pilgrims meeting Indians and how, you know, they sort of
gave them blankets with malaria or some shit. Did they not?
There's probably like a real true origin story of like the first, was it Passover Not Passover.
Thanksgiving.
Passover is a completely different thing. What's it called? There is the Thanksgiving where they sit around and eat and all that stuff. There's probably like a thing where like, oh, it never happened and all this stuff. But the idea is that they got together, and the Pilgrims and the Indians, and they broke bread and they put their differences aside.
Like when they fucking, like, in World War One, when they were having
the
trench warfare and had a football match.
Yeah, put their differences
crazy,
aside
aye.
and all that shit.
You wouldn't get that nowadays. With the fucking missiles and that. Technology's ruined that one for us, Sam.
The whole big thing about Christmas as well. A big, like, Christmas special episode planned where I was going to talk about the fucking... They're called...
Mushrooms,
yeah, you get... it's got... I think it's got DMT in it. The mosquito ones. Dimethyltryptamine.
I always remember that Pete always talked about that.
Yeah.
Dimethyltryptamine.
We've had a few people. I've had people comment and want me to do a podcast about where, like, I talk about DMT. I don't know too much about
I just
it.
like fucking something else I was to ask you. Well, I don't know if I can ask you about it, actually.
Okay.
I don't know if I can ask you about it.
We'll have a think, and then...
I don't know. I was told it for a third party.
Okay, maybe write it down then. I don't know. But no, so the whole thing was these shamans would basically, around December 25th, the winter solstice, everything's shit, everything's really bad. So, because it's just, there's darkness and
it's like
snow and fucking, it's hard to really survive. So they used to always celebrate the winter solstice, because it's like, if you survive the winter solstice, on December 25th is the day that the sun starts to move up high again. So it's like everything's better. So they celebrate that. And apparently what the shamans would do is go around to people's houses, and he'd have a sack with all the mushrooms in it.
Oh, right.
Right? So he would be kind of like Santa Claus. And this is, again, don't know if it's true, but apparently if the snow had snowed in the hut, he'd climb through the chimney hole with his sack of magic mushrooms and all this stuff. And the other thing about this, the mushrooms, it's with the trees as well. They grow under the trees is essentially the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of things about, you dry them out by, either putting them in a sort of stocking and hanging above the fire. Or placing them in the tree. And they were talking about how, like, the very first Christmas trees that people had, they were all the decorations with Christmas trees, they were all edible. It was all like...
and what, like, countries this kind of originated from? Is that weird?
I can't remember the name of it.
Like, what kind of area of the world, maybe?
I'm not sure.
I've seen a lot of weird Christmas things when I was looking up all my Christmas shit, and like a lot of them came from like, it's like over like Eastern Europe, Germany, maybe.
But I don't know what specific countries, because I don't want to say like Norway or something. It's,
a lot of my stuff actually came from.
Well, it's definitely not like America or anything like that. But there's just loads of shit with the mushrooms, and there's the Christmas trees. It was all edible stuff. Like they take popcorn and like put.
I put like on strings.
Yeah, and you'd hang that up, and like candy canes and things like that. And candy canes as well. They're like red and white, the same colours. And if you look at all the early Christmas cards, it happens to be as well. Santa. Yeah, which happens to also be as well the colours.
Yeah,
the mushroom.
And Budweiser.
But and Budweiser. But no, this is I think I was going to prepare for this because there's loads of shit, and I struggled to remember it all. But
I did like I've got a lot of wee notes.
There's also there was a thing about apparently if you induce one of these mushrooms and then you urinate, it's still in the urine.
Oh, so you drink it?
So you can drink your own urine, and it's like they say this is where this idea of eternal life comes from, and like fucking Jesus turning water into wine and all that stuff. And you always get the fountains. You always see fountains with like little like kids peeing in, and it's like a circular thing.
Right.
They're saying this all comes from what they used to do with mushrooms and hallucinogenics, and and it's like that circle of, it's not necessarily like the circle of life, but what I mean, it's that
Well, speaking of urine, I found a weird one came up, and it wasn't peeing, but it was pooing, right? And it's called, I fucking can't even read my own writing, Kagander or something like that, right? And this is like a traditional thing in like areas of like southern France and Spain and stuff like that, and it's a guy crouching Like, it's an ornament that you can buy for, like, under your Christmas tree, or, like, a festive kind of ornament. And he's, like, crouching, trousers down, and there's, like, a pile of poo under his bum. And that's, like, a Christmas thing. I don't really know why. I couldn't really find an origin from it. Apparently, the Catholic Church allows it to be in the church in the nativity in certain areas. Like, so you put it in your nativity scene. So there's, like, the baby Jesus, the manger, Mary, Joseph, the sheep, wise men, and then, like, a wee guy just, like, crouching down in a crap. It's really weird, eh?
That's strange.
And then, like, some of them have got, like, wee French berries on them, like the French ones and that. It's really weird, aye.
Disgustingly
That's
weird.
pretty strange, aye. A couple other weird Christmas things I found was, wait, that's my Christmas facts. There's a really weird, I was fucking speaking about you're hallucinating and that. Apparently, in the Czech Republic, some people fast on Christmas Eve, so they don't eat anything, in hopes that they'll see a gold pig. Like, they'll hallucinate through hunger and starvation and see a gold pig, which is a sign of good luck.
Yeah.
It's really fucking weird, eh?
I wonder actually, because if it's the same with like sleep deprivation, all that stuff. If you have any sort of deprivation, you start to go mental. I wonder if that's why there is, like, you know, fasting for Lent and all that kind of stuff.
Aye, I don't know, man. I remember, like,
and what's the Islamic one? The begins with an R.
Ramadan.
Is it Ramadan?
Aye, they fast.
They fast.
They don't eat when the sun's up.
Yeah, I wonder if that's maybe born from, you know, people fasting and then realising that, if you don't eat for ages, you go fucking a bit, you know, start to see shit. It's kind of cool.
It's weird that they say, like, a golden pig. It's like how when people say, like, oh, when you get drunk, you'll be seeing, like, the pink elephants or something weird like that. It's really weird. I was like, a fucking golden pig? I was like, I need to look more into this. I couldn't find anything apart from that. Like, just, like, they starve themselves in order to see a golden pig. It's really fucking strange. And a weird Santa is in Scandinavia, in Northern Europe. See, loads of these come from, like, European kind of side of things. I don't really know why. There's a guy called, or not a guy, sorry. This is called Julebokken, I think it's pronounced, and it's a Yule goat, and a guy rides around on a goat and gives it presents. Basically the same idea. It's called.
Well, that's what they said about the shaman as well. Like, he wouldn't just walk from house to house. He would be on our reindeer on a sleigh and all.
But
that
then
stuff.
this thing gets a bit funny and weird as well, right? Because what people do in these areas where they celebrate with this Yule goat is, like, they make up, like, a dummy goat. So they would make one up out of, like, fucking, like, hay and shit, or, like, fucking, like, paper mache or whatever, right? And they hide it into their neighbour's house. But they need to fucking, like, sneak into the house and hide it in there, right? So their neighbour gets home and there's, like, a fucking, like, goat. And then they need to hide it in somebody else's house. So this goat just gets passed about. I'm like, that's fucking really weird.
That's a bit
They just
mental.
fucking break into people's houses, like, leaving a goat.
Well, breaking into the houses, maybe that's where.
Aye. It's quite funny though. It's a Christmas prank.
That's what it means.
I like that.
But who wins and who loses?
I don't know. I don't know how it fucking. I don't know how it. I don't know. I don't know where it ends. And apparently the real Joe Bock and the goat is, like, a man-sized goat. So it's fucking like just a massive goat. There was another weird one as well called Krampus. Have you heard of Krampus?
Krampus, not sure.
It's like this fucking, like, it's a thing called, it's like an anti-Santa. It's basically like a devil, and it's got, like, cloven hoofs and all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah.
He's got a big sack, and like the bad kids.
Yeah, and
he
the
fucking
stick
kidnaps them and he, like, threatens, like,
yeah.
It's crazy. But he's a kind of a friend of Saint Nick, as they would call him in, like, these countries and stuff like that. And they would do, like, parades and stuff, and then he would be there, and, like, Saint Nick would be there, and this fucking, like, weird Krampus guy. And, like, see, like, if you fucking Google Krampus, like, loads of people obviously depict it in different ways, but
I've seen some of
like, some of them look really weird. I think that's some of my weird Christmas stuff. I was just fucking told past you too. Aye, there's some.
You come back and you eat more. And then there's actually a room dedicated for people to just go up and throw up in.
I think Russia would be a really weird place to go.
Yeah.
So I think, aye.
But see, the thing is, we had all this Christmas stuff thing because we were going to be doing it.
Get a Christmas pod.
And then I think we still would have done it even though we couldn't find Santa Claus.
Yeah.
But I think we still would have done it had I not been ill as a fuck.
Aye. It's Christmas Eve. It was going to be on Christmas Eve as well.
But we kind of missed it.
And then the next one would have been New Year. Did we miss one last week?
Yeah.
I think we did.
I think we've missed a couple.
Aye.
And even this is Monday, and people are probably, what are they doing on Monday? Like, it's Wednesday supposed to be podcast day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we figured just because we haven't done one in
Aye.
a while,
I know.
we should just fucking do it.
Aye. I know. Crazy things.
New Year's, what happened with New Year's with you? What did we miss? What did you do for New Year's?
Nothing much. I had the wee one, so I was just in the house. Nothing exciting happened. Got steak pie.
Aye. I was just down at Mum's house. We were up till about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Aye.
I got kind of drunk.
The thing that I didn't know if we were to talk about.
I'm so confused.
Is at the bottom of that. This apparently this week or next week. Or
oh yeah. No, you can talk about that. Well, I don't know if I'll be on it or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sam
so there's
might be on TV.
I might as well promote it for them anyway, just in case anyone is watching this.
Beer, Sammy,
yeah, why not? Yeah, I might be on TV. Woohoo! There's wrestling company, Scottish company called ICW, Insane Championship Wrestling. Basically, Vice did this documentary on them, and it got a lot of attention. So then the BBC kind of a little bit ripped off what Vice had done, and we're like, yeah, we'll do a documentary. It's quite similar, but the BBC one was called Insane Fight Club, and then when that aired, I think that did a lot better. You know, loads of people tuned in. It got loads and loads of views. So it's now actually prompted BBC to do a follow-up. They've done Insane Fight Club 2. They were filming it last year. ICW were doing a tour. I don't know if it was just around the UK or if they went,
I don't know if they've done overseas
or anything like that.
I know they've done a lot down in London.
Oh, no, even overseas, but even just like in Europe and stuff. I don't know if they, were, fucking about Germany or anything like that. Possibly. Or that could be plans for something in the future. But either way, they did this documentary, second one, Insane Fight Club 2.
Uh-huh.
And I donated my wrestling ring to ICW.
Yeah.
And so when Mark Dallas, who's the guy who owns the company, he came to pick up, I was there. And they had the BBC people with the cameras. And, I had like a 5-second conversation with the guy with the camera, so there's a possibility I might be in this documentary, which is fun.
That's
but
cool.
I might also be cut from it, so
Aye.
we don't fucking need this guy. Or you might see me like walking in the background for like a second.
Same the one they came. I think they did not come twice to get the ring because they had to get like a bigger van or
they
something.
came the first time, and the van, they were hoping it would be able to. The front of the van had like a little roof bit.
Aye.
And they were hoping they'd be able to slide up into it.
But just fucking
was like, yeah.
Aye.
So they came back with another van and got it. And then they went to that show. And that show was at the Barrowlands.
Yeah.
What was the name of it? Do you remember?
I don't know. Was it not like their on-demand launch night?
Yeah.
Or was that
it was it was the night. They were actually, I think they were hoping to do it live, stream it live on the on-demand thing. But yeah, so you can actually type in ICW on demand, I think it is, and you can get their
shows a month or something like that.
Yeah, which, I mean, you think about it, like, what other company in the UK at least is capable of doing that?
Yeah.
You know, having like an on-demand service and people all over the world. I was listening to podcasts. I'm a bit loud there.
Yeah.
I was listening to podcasts where people were like from America were reviewing the Insane Fight Club film.
Oh my god!
Like the wrestling podcasts, and they were doing reviews of these things, and it's just so weird because it's like
taken off really well. Because like, I even like anytime he posts up a status about like fucking like a show or whatever like that, it's always sold out. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
No, they're doing exceptionally well. And that's the thing. Like back when I was involved, because I used to know those guys as well from years ago.
Yeah.
And I was involved with BCW, and it was just, I got put off of wrestling, and that's why I had a ring actually, because I wanted to start my own company and go my own way, because it was just a shambles, you know. It was just really bad. You had like these shows where you'd get maybe like 40 people at the most would come to these shows, and it'd be all like OAPs, children and the disabled. That's the majority of the audience there. And for me, wrestling was like fucking, I like DCW, I like proper actual wrestling, whereas this was like a version of wrestling. It was just like this fucking...
They're not people that are going to like appreciate it fully.
Yeah. So, and a lot of wrestlers like that. A lot of wrestlers prefer that because it's almost like a night off. You don't have to do all the big fancy moves. You don't have to really put your body on the line and all that stuff. You can just clap your hands. I'm Scottish. Scotland.
Right.
And have everyone in the crowd, yeah, Scotland. And it's just, I don't know. I'm a bit too cynical for that. It's fucking, I hated it. I was like, this isn't wrestling. I don't know what this is, but it's not fucking wrestling. So I left, and then my hopes were that I would create a company that would be like ECW used to be. That would be like appreciated proper wrestling that could transform the Scottish scene into something worthwhile. And of course, I ended up doing other things, and Mark Dallas, he did it. He fucking absolutely did it. And you know, his first show was in Maryhill, which is like, you know, a particularly rough area. And they got in the paper after the first show for having a dildo in one of the matches. So from that point on, it was, all right, people know this is a different company. This isn't your typical. And of course, all the teenagers and all the sort of the men came out. Their next show was sold out, and then I think they've been sold out ever since. Yeah, they've just, because that was my point as well. When I was wanting to do that, I was like, there's a fan base there. But if you know, 2 or 3 wrestling fans come out to watch your BCW show where all you're doing is clapping along and saying Scotland, nobody's gonna fucking, they're not gonna come back. So this all happened over the course of, I think, about 10 years or something. ICW has just went, and they're not just big in terms of Scottish wrestling, they're big in terms of the UK. They have to be the biggest company in the UK. If not, they've got the most potential out of any company in the UK. They will end up touring across Europe. Who knows how big they'll get if they get back on TV, because they were on TV as well, and they got taken off due to a fucking, as far as I know, it was due to a fuck up. There was nothing really to do with them. It was to do with the people who were deciding on the broadcast times and all that stuff. They fucked up and put ICW content on before the watershed, and so it wasn't really their fault, you know. It was whoever put on at whatever time, and that got them taken off. But I think they could get picked up. Is Bravo still a channel? Does that still exist?
Maybe, but it's been renamed or something.
Or Dave or something like that.
Dave's there.
Or is Dave but a bit more comedy? I don't know.
Or even there's that STV Glasgow. That's all about Scottish.
Yeah, but there you go. They could do it. They could easily do it. Put it on after fucking 9 o'clock or something like that. Thing is, we wrestling fans in the UK, we used to stay up till fucking whatever time in the morning to watch the wrestling anyway. So, but I think they could end up being back on TV. I think they could end up being a pretty decent company. Not, you know, they obviously are a pretty decent company, but I'm saying that I think they could like make an impact. You know, they could be in the history books of wrestling. Oh, I remember ICW. You know? There's no reason as to why they couldn't. So this documentary,
I think that man, definitely.
If you haven't seen the first one, go fucking watch it. It's awesome. It follows Grado. And
the Vice one, are you talking about, or the BBC one?
I think both of them kind of. You know, they kind of. The BBC one, the style, it almost seems like they wanted to do what Vice had done. You know, but yes, well worth watching. And this was Grado. You don't even have to like wrestling. You can hate wrestling, and if you watch this, you'll fall in love with Grado because he's awesome. Look at me sucking his dick, but
he's good.
No, he is. He's funny.
Do you think he would sell out if he went to fucking like the WWE?
I don't know. I think he said in an interview recently, like, that his goal in life is to develop ICW and get ICW up there and all that.
To that
but
standard.
The thing is, I mean, if he got offered a WWE contract, how could he turn that down? You know, I would want him to. I would actively want him to turn it down, but I couldn't blame him if he took it.
Yeah.
I couldn't blame him, you know.
Yeah, because it'd be a fucking lot of money. Do you know what I mean? You can't just
Yeah.
turn your nose down at it. Do you know what I mean? Or turn your nose up at it.
I think that would. But then you think about the opposite. If he got a WWE contract, this would be the best thing that could launch ICW, put it like on the main stage.
He'd be the one to do it
Well,
as well, I think.
if he got a WWE contract and then went out on an ICW show and ripped the contract up, that would be like, holy fuck. The WWE wanted this guy and he said, I want ICW. Fuck you.
Aye,
that would be because then you'd get the fans from all over the world would see that on YouTube and they'd be like, whoa, that's something else. I've never seen that before.
Fuck, that would be good, man.
Aye. I should stop being involved in wrestling. Storylines and all that.
He wouldn't do that though, would he? You never know.
I would, if it was me.
Tell fucking Mark Dallas.
Mark Dallas, book me and then help me get a WWE contract and then I'll rip it up on your show.
Aye. That's crazy, man. That'd be good though.
Yeah. So that's coming on in a few days. Insane Fight Club 2, I think it's the 21st on BBC One, as far as I know.
Aye. BBC One.
So yeah, check that out. That'll be fun.
What else have we got, Sam, this week?
Oh, this week?
Fucking chatted all day. Or
That's
this
fucking loads of shit this week. That's what I'm saying. I wasn't... Because it'll just get me angry again.
Right.
All this fucking Charlie Hebdo stuff. Hebdo.
Aye. Well, I talk about my latest venture with Stephen Dewar.
Okay. I feel bad though if there is people tuning in, like wanting us to talk about this stuff, and we're actively
but
avoiding it.
Covered.
That's it. Well, the thing is, but what we could talk about is there's a lot of stuff that hasn't necessarily been covered because there's this fucking. I posted some the other day about the whole conspiracy genre of fucking. There's like a
I
group
just thought
of people.
another thing. Sorry, Sam.
Okay, go on.
On you go. No, sorry. Finish your thing first.
Well, just because this whole thing happened, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, another fucking Muslim Islamic terrorist.
There's been a lot of them
attack.
as well. Like,
There's been
was
fucking
that thing in Australia. Was there not one in like Sweden or Norway or one of them places as well?
It just is everywhere. Everywhere. It's fucking everywhere. It's like a fucking it's like Ebola. It's just fucking everywhere. But so this came on. It was like another fucking Muslim attack. And
sorry, I'm just
instantly you've got people before I even see the fucking the articles being shared from like the BBC and Sky News and CNN and all this stuff. You've got people that are fucking posting shit going, conspiracy theory. It's absolute bullshit. There was no blood. The guy never got shot. It was CGI'd. It was fucking. You know when everything's fucking. First of all, you've got a video there saying, "Oh no, he wasn't shot. He wasn't shot because there was no blood." Then the next day, you've got a video of a I think it was a Sky News reporter standing there on the street where the guy was shot, and he said, "Yeah, you can see that they've put the blood there." Now, because he said they've put the blood there, they're hanging up on this thing now.
Somebody's put blood there.
They're like, somebody's put blood there. He just admitted it. He slipped up because of course, if there was a conspiracy, the reporter, he's gonna know.
Yeah. I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like of all people, the reporter, he's the guy that's in on it.
I seen them putting it down there a couple of minutes ago. They came out with a bucket and I seen it. I seen it all.
So there's blood there now, and they're going, look, the blood is fake.
A wet floor sign on it and that.
But 2 seconds ago, it's like 2 seconds ago. Yesterday, you're showing me all these links. There is no blood.
And now
there's no blood. And now no, but the blood that's there was planted because listen to what this guy said. Fuck right off.
I haven't seen a whole lot yet, but like there's just been that much shit on. Like I've kind of picked up the kind of.
The thing is, right? See, with me, I'm usually like when there's a conspiracy theory comes out, I'm usually like, all right, bit of entertainment. Let's just indulge this. Let's see how people's minds are working. You know, like the fucking Sandy Hook thing and the Malaysian. Yeah. That's a whole other episode. Just to the guy who messed with that. That's a big episode. But anyway, the thing. What was I saying?
Sandy Hook.
You've got a conspiracy theory about everything, right? And I don't mind. I usually don't fucking mind because it's like Well, what else is there? You know, we know what the official story is, and here's the alternative Alex Jones fringe type people saying one thing. So let's just listen to them. Let's hear them out, and then we can go through step by step trying to. It's like a game. It's like a fucking game, where it's like you'll be presented with information from the conspiratorial people. It's like with chemtrails.
Yeah.
I don't get upset when I see people like talking about chemtrails or whatever, you know, because I just see it as like a game. Okay, let's actually look at what their claim is.
Yeah.
And I'll try and think of what's a reasonable way to argue this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And let's try and dig deep and find out what the facts are and all this stuff. But then when this thing came out, I thought, really? Instantly. Not like it was like 4 days went past and then it started cropping up. Hey, there's a hole in the story here. I think there's a conspiracy theory here. It was just instantly.
Just the way it goes, the way like 9/11, like there's obviously like the conspiracies surrounding that.
There's weird shit.
Sandy Hook and like
and that's
the
what I'm saying.
fucking planes disappear. Like
that's what I'm saying. There's weird shit.
Everybody's just like, it's a fucking.
There's weird. We did the whole episode on the missing plane.
Yeah.
And there is weird shit, and there's juicy shit, and it's like there's Diego Garcia is within that distance, and then there's reports of people haven't seen.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh no! But just on before I forget, right?
Yeah.
The point of that was there is weird shit, and if someone comes up to me and says, I think that this Charlie Hebdo attack was a staged false flag, I will say I'll first of all say to them, tell me all these other things, right? You know, that you've got the Boston Marathon. Was that a conspiracy? Chemtrails, are they real?
Right, aye.
I'm
feeling
you know, Sandy Hook, all this stuff, the missing plane. Even that there was a bin lorry crashed in Glasgow a couple of days before Christmas.
Yeah.
And like, was it 6 people died?
Yeah.
There's conspiracy theories regarding that.
That's ridiculous.
People are saying, no, it's not real. So I'll say, look, list all these things. Do you accept all these conspiracy theories? If the answer is yes, I'm not entertaining you. Fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Because that's another thing as well. Even if I did fucking think that the missing plane was a legitimate conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
The best that I can come up with in terms of talking to other people about it, and they ask me, what do you think of that? The best, with the evidence that you have, because you've got a fucking lack of evidence, the best that you can really say at a push is, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's it.
I think there's something.
Facts.
Yeah, I think there's something off about it. I'm not 100% committed to the story that it just disappeared or that it was shot there. I think there's possibly more to it, but I don't know.
See, I heard
you'll get people that
are
are
fucking find it, Sam.
Well, you'll get people that are absolutely convinced of these things, absolutely convinced that the Boston Marathon was a false flag. The government knew about it. And what's the reason? What's their evidence? Well, I have evidence. What's your evidence? Well, did you see that episode of Family Guy? What? No, there was an episode of Family Guy where they predicted it.
And there was an Illuminati symbol and fucking...
What? What?
Yeah.
What the fuck's your evidence? You watched an episode of Family Guy? You fucking... Oh, my God. Right. No, but the thing is, I can make do with that from time to time.
You can make do.
I can make do with like...
I can make do.
I said that the other day as well. Hazel was like, what do you mean do? It's do. I can make do. I thought it was I can make do. Anyway, I can make Jews. What was I saying? The Boston Marathon. I can make do with someone who thinks that the Boston Marathon was a conspiracy theory, but they're maybe unsure about all these other things. You know, but they've looked into it, and then I'll be all right. Okay, tell me. Sit down. We'll talk. Tell me everything you know, and we'll go through it. I'll give you the time. But if you have committed yourself to every single fucking thing that happens in the world, there's nothing normal happens. Every single fucking thing happens to be a conspiracy.
Yeah, that's it.
Then
that's when it's too much.
Aye. Now, I'll tell you something, because
there
as well,
things when like facts don't line up and you're like, there has to be something else going on in there.
Yeah, I'm partial to conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
At the very least, indulge in them. There are like again, but it's like I don't know. But there's things that where I'll give you an example. This is a great example actually. I watched this the other night. This was a film called Kill the Messenger.
Right.
And it's all about in the, was it the 80s? The 80s or no, it was the 90s. During the 90s, there was this big investigation about the CIA's involvement with drug trafficking.
Right.
And there was a guy, Freeway Ricky Ross, who's been on Joe Rogan's podcast and spoke about this, where he was like essentially working for, he was a CIA asset. They had all this shit. They had to get rid of it. They had to make money in order to fund other shit. But anyway, there was this guy, cannot remember his name. What's his fucking name? Webb. Chris Webb? Something Webb. Who was a journalist. And he went and fucking spoke to people in the CIA. And he went to fucking Cuba or whatever it was. And he was speaking to people there. And he wrote all his shit down. And he was a journalist. And he got all his sources. And then he put out this book. And then the CIA like kind of squashed it. And all the other reporters... He didn't put out a book at that point. He put out the article, you know, the CIA's involvement with the drug stuff. And then, of course, his career got completely fucking dismantled. Like, he couldn't get a job anywhere.
Yeah.
And all this shit. And it was like he was supposedly paranoid. And, you know, he had people following him. And people were coming into his house and all this stuff.
Oh, shit.
And he had all this weird shit going on. Now, when you've got, like, a track record of all that stuff, guess how he died?
Fucking, it was something weird.
2 gunshot wounds to the head that was recorded as a suicide.
Oh my god.
Now, there's being conspiratorial, and then there's being, you know, curious in a way that's completely acceptable. I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit strange.
Yeah.
It's possible, I guess, that he took 2 guns and, you know, I guess it's possible. I'm just not entirely convinced of the mainstream narrative of it. But I'm not in any fucking position to know. I'm not in any position to go and tell people it was a fucking conspiracy. Yeah. He got killed by the CIA. I don't know that.
Yeah, I know you
The
can't.
best that I can do, and I might say in passing with my friends when it's no big deal, but the best that I can do is say, I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's it.
I think there's something iffy about
we
it.
weren't there, man.
But people are fucking so eager to show that they know. They fucking know. They know better than anyone else. Yeah. And then they'll openly admit. I had an argument with someone on Facebook, and they're like, well, I don't even watch fucking Sky News or BBC. So you're admitting that you don't even watch the alternative. You don't even, what to use the alternative, the mainstream. Mm-hmm. The mainstream too. You don't even know what the fuck it is.
Is really good for fucking getting a good
RT. As long as the stories that they're covering have nothing to do with Russia, you'll usually get a completely unbiased, usually a pretty good, you know, reporting. You can't say they're all going to be good, but
the thing I
usually
heard was about flight MH370, and I fucking wished the fuck I'd saved it or bookmarked it or something.
Oh, was it another plane went missing?
No, it was the same one, right? The
same type of plane.
No, the same.
Oh, right,
like the Malaysian.
Because there was another plane that went missing not too long ago.
I heard about that as well, but they found that.
Yeah.
See, this was what I thought was weird as well. Right, I've got 2 things here. Because, right, well, first of all, actually, that second plane that went missing, obviously there was the one that was shot down over Ukraine, and that was shot down in that, and people could question that and all that kind of stuff. The one that went missing recently, they found that so quick. Now, why the fuck could they not find another one so quick? And that's what kind of makes the alarm bells ring about it to a degree. But there was a weird thing. I seen a thing that popped up on my Facebook today. It wasn't something that was on my wall. It was just like some kind of advertisement for some website or something. Right. And it was like, look at this. These are the top 10 unsolved mysteries that fucking nobody can figure out. Sure enough, flight MH370 was on it, along with like other stuff. But one of the things was on it. Apparently, this plane had in it enough fuel to fly to North Korea. And North Korea had done this before. They'd fucking hijacked a plane somehow. I don't know how they did that.
They stole it.
They stole a fucking plane.
Stole a plane.
And I was like, fuck, I wish I could find it, but I couldn't find it.
See, that's it, and it's plausible. Because we know how fucking dirt poor the North Koreans are.
But the thing is that I like that idea because I fucking, like, I love all the North Korea stuff. But the thing that I'm like, I don't know about that is because I just don't feel like North Korea has, like, maybe America's got a guy in fucking, like, Iraq fucking dealing with heroin in the CIA or something like that, right? But North Korea doesn't have a fucking guy in Australia that's going to fly them a plane. Maybe they do, I don't know. But I just don't feel like they've got like outreach to other places. Like I think it's just them. Anyway, I had another thing for the Christmas podcast, right? And this was kind of going along the lines of one of our most top viewed podcasts, Sam.
All right.
I think one of our most top viewed one was I think it was either there was one that we chatted about Darren Brown, or there was one that we chatted about Uri Geller and psychics.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
There was a guy, I think he's from Alloa or
right.
Falkirk, right? And he's called Lee Dunn, and he made 20.
Whoa! Giving out full names here.
He's like a fucking big deal. This guy apparently.
All right, okay.
Right, it's all right. So this guy has made on the run up to Christmas for Advent. I don't know what fucking thing made Advent.
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 It's not a real thing.
He fucking made 24 predictions for 2015.
Right.
Right. And apparently one of them came true already, because it is a thing that's happened.
Right.
But whether it's a prediction or if it's just like,
okay,
thank fuck that came true. Right. So do you want to go through these?
Yeah, tell me.
These 24 predictions. There was one.
This is what I want. If people are claiming to be psychics, make these fucking predictions.
So these are predictions. That's what I thought. I was like, fucking Sam like this. The first prediction for 2015 was, the Chariot offers little protection as a prominent Eastern leader is critically injured. The conspiracy that follows him will be his undoing, causing unrest as a star falls from the sky, a possible connection to Russia and Mr. Putin. That's his first prediction.
No, sorry. Get to fuck. That's not a prediction. That's just a fucking string of vague sounding... You know what I mean? I wonder what he meant by
some of them are...
When you said that he coming out with a prediction, I thought it was going to be like, you know...
This will happen.
There was a terrorist event
we'll try and
in France that's going to change the world. Alright, that's a pretty clear-cut
something
prediction.
The Chariot, I don't know what the Chariot is, maybe his government or something like that.
Right. That's what I mean though, but you're how many words
that's
in?
Me making that.
How many words in?
The Chariot offers little protection.
The second word, and you're like, I'm not really sure what he means by that.
That's
the second word.
Right, we'll go through them. As an Eastern leader is critically injured. In what way, we don't know. Then there's a conspiracy that follows him that will be his undoing. So maybe somebody says he did this, or no, he's like, I did this, but people are like, he didn't really do that, and then that'll undo him.
Is this about?
And it's a possible connection to Russia and Mr. Putin.
Is this about Kim Jong Un and the?
Now these were all put up because these were done over Advent. These were December 1st, December 2nd. So these all appeared on Facebook back then.
Right.
But he's posted them to his website because they're not on Facebook anymore. His second one is the announcement of another royal pregnancy. Right.
Right.
He's put in brackets. I think is Will and Kate not pregnant again? But he's put in brackets Zara. Because she's like some Zara Phillips rings a bell for some reason. And the announcement of another royal pregnancy, Zara ? Coincides with the news of a royal passing, Philip ? The circle of life is completed as one soul enters this earth plane, another rejoins the higher side of life. So he's predicting that there's going to be an announcement of another royal pregnancy, apart from the Wills and Kate baby, and then one of them's going to die, an elder one, right? Maybe it's not an elder one, it could be a younger one, right?
Maybe.
This is on the third. East and West forge new lines in the sand as China and Russia announce an economic union. This will coincide as India enters into a solidarity pact with Western nations and North Korea enters talks with the South. There will be broken promises of a new Euro-Asian Union. A major car manufacturer will seek liquidation or sale. Now these things are quite precise things.
That's a bit more specific, but what I'm saying is, is that meant to happen in 2015?
Yeah.
Okay.
These are all for 2015. Let me just
be as well the Euro-Asian thing connection. Like, people have been saying that for a while, you know.
Right. Okay.
So he's not just hitting you with things completely out of the blue.
Right.
You know, there are things that, you know, could easily happen. You know. But
okay.
Anyway.
Right. Number 4, a great storm of fire will threaten and partially destroy the Yellowstone ecosystem. That's Yellowstone Park and fucking wherever it is. As human intervention, I don't know. As human intervention fights against the explosive force of Mother Nature. But they've got like kind of weird like geysers and stuff like that over there anyway. Unless there's like a fucking volcano or something.
Yeah, they got lots of geysers. That's a faggot.
Number 5, a love triangle emerges when a celebrity falls pregnant with another man's baby following an affair.
Oh my god.
All is not what it seems, and this will dominate papers for a few days.
That's likely to happen. Like,
It probably is.
do you know what I mean?
Actually. That's a good chance. But then the thing is, like, he's obviously not banking on somebody sitting there in December of 2015 being like, let's go through this shit.
Well, the thing is, right, if he had put in brackets the name of that celebrity the same way he did with the royal thing,
yeah,
and then got it right, he'd have a little bit more credibility.
But I think then with, like, the royals, like, you need to think, like, who's of that kind of age? I suppose, like, maybe maybe he gets a lassie knocked up. But then...
Yeah.
Zara's like a...
And also, you could also say with William now having a baby, Harry's going to get broody, you know?
Yeah.
You can piece these things together.
It's weird, we're not talking about royals like that. Maybe Harry's going to get
Maybe
broody.
Harry's going to get all broody and want a child.
Right. A ship of the line, I don't know what that means, will encounter trouble as it takes on water. One of a series of maritime concerns next year, which includes the disappearance of a private yacht.
Ooh.
As it attempts to navigate troubled seas.
Well, we've had the disappearance of a plane. We've not had a yacht yet, have we?
No. Do you not think yacht's spelt really weird?
Yacht.
Spelt like yacht.
Yeah.
Signed, right, I think this was something that actually came true. One of them is this must be the one that came true.
Okay.
Because he posted this on his Facebook, sorry, with a link to like a BBC thing, and it kind of did measure up. Scientists will make a major breakthrough in our knowledge of cellular... Maybe it's not this one, actually. It's something to do with antibiotics. Scientists will make a major breakthrough in our knowledge of cellular regeneration, which leads to potential new treatments for neurodegenerative conditions. This is linked to research in cloning, DNA, in brackets, cancer research, and genetic engineering. Now, I'd say they're kind of halfway there with that anyway. Right.
Could be.
Here's a fucking other weird one. A great sword of light interferes with communications. Something to do with Star Wars, maybe, I don't know. As we experience a solar flare which affects satellites orbiting the planet. Mobile phone networks will be knocked out for a few hours and planes will be grounded. We will be warned about this in advance, but it will not be as bad as we feared. Expect a few hours of annoyance.
He's just concerned with everything, this guy.
Yeah. A cruise ship, this is number 9, we're on the 9th of December now. A cruise ship is attacked by pirates and takes some damage. This will be the first of 2 similar incidents within the space of a few days. Now, he's already said maritime incidents will kind of occur. The second will be an attack against a merchant navy vessel crew to be held hostage before being released. A possible French connection.
Dun, dun. He's got French and hostage in the same... Wait a minute here, if we just take out the thing about the boat, he's fucking bang on.
The next one is a bit of a hot air balloon will crash. That's his next one.
Is that it? Fucking hell.
A hot air balloon will crash land, hitting the news headlines. That's like compared to all the other ones, a sword of light. A hot air balloon will crash. Right, the next one is
okay.
Darkness surrounds the passengers on a train as a tunnel collapses, leaving them stranded underground for a few hours.
Are we near the end? I've got something to say about this.
We're on 11.
How many has it got?
24.
Right, well, hold on. I just want to say...
wait, let me do 12 and then we're halfway.
Okay.
Right. Scientists... No, this is the one that came true, apparently.
Right.
Scientists will develop a new antibiotic which begins a new era of drug development to tackle illness and disease. There was a running headline too. Why should we eat cheese for good health? That was a headline apparently, but I'd never seen that. But he left that out of his thing. He's posted on Facebook actually. They're running headline, but right, what were you saying? Sam?
I was going to say, let's assume he really does have these powers to be able to predict events.
I'm going to fucking put this as a bookmark.
Okay.
Because then we'll know.
So my point is, even if he is telling the truth, that is the most useless fucking skill that you could have. Do you know what I mean? Because unless you can be precise about future events, what the fuck is the point? Sorry, not a water balloon. A weather balloon is gonna crash. Is that a weather? What's it called? Hot air balloon. I called it a weather balloon fucking last time. Didn't I? A hot air balloon is gonna crash. All right.
Where? So it could be fucking anywhere.
So if he's right,
like the
only way to avoid that is for all hot air balloons everywhere to cease. Ground them. At least for 2015.
Yeah.
And that's the only way that he can be useful. Do you know what I mean? Your powers are great. You're spot on. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about it.
Some of them are weirdly specific, but some of them are like a hot air balloon will crash land. Like, I mean, if that happened, would we hear about it in the news? A merchant navy ship being attacked by pirates, I'm sure we would hear about it. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what else he should do? If he's really good at predicting, he should have them in chronological order.
I know he should, but because obviously he's claiming this number. The antibiotic ones came true, but that's number 12.
So that's 25 events. So 24.
24.
Right.
I've got a feeling he missed a day for some reason as well.
But let's say he got 6 right.
Yeah.
And I don't even mean like, there's a bit of that kind of sounds like what he said. I mean, like, he gets it bang on.
Yeah.
6 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any idea how many people would follow him and think this guy is fucking great? He's really good.
Yeah, I know.
He made 24 predictions and got 6 of them right.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing.
No, I know.
If he's claiming to be good at predicting, that's what he's good at.
Yeah.
Getting 6 right out of 24.
Like somebody doing heart surgery on you, they're like, well, I've got it right 6 times out of 24. You're like, nah, mate.
Exactly.
You want to go for the guy that's got like maybe 23 or something like that.
Well, if he even got 12, it's still like tossing a coin.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if he gives you a reading and he says, well, you're going to move to New Zealand. Well, I mean, you did get 12 predictions right out of that 24 at Christmas, but 12 out of 24 is... Well, am I going to move to New Zealand? It might just be a flip of a coin. You might be right.
You never know what
just
might
kind of
happen.
50-50.
Do you know what I mean? You might have to go to New Zealand.
You might have to go to New Zealand because he said that. That's the thing about personal readings as well.
Yeah.
Whenever they plant something in your head, Yeah. I remember...
I've got a fucking wee story about planting things in your head as well.
I actually mentioned New Zealand because years ago, my girlfriend got a reading off of a guy who might possibly be a guest on this show.
Yeah.
His mum gave Hazel a reading, and 2 things that we remember that she said was, we'll have twins,
right,
and that we'll move to New Zealand. And that's why I thought
like
New Zealand there.
Hazel
will have twins, and we'll move to New Zealand. Now, if Hazel happens to have twins, we're gonna feel fucking obligated to move to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just to make it right. Well, I won't, because I'm a bit more, skeptical to that. But the amount of people that would be like, oh, that means that we are going to move to New Zealand. It means that now, and then they just make it happen because they've already decided.
Like I bite my nails, and so at New Year I was like, right, I'm fucking stopping biting my nails. So I stopped, right, and I stopped up until the 9th. And I was at work, and I'd been thinking about that day, and I just said to somebody at work, I was like, guess what I've not done for fucking like since New Year. Like, what? I was like, biting my nails. And I'm like, that's really good. And I'd been thinking about it going up to tell, like, I don't know, I'd just been kind of like, doing that way, like, oh, I need to tell somebody that. So I told her. And then she's like, that's really good. And then, like, fucking within half an hour, I'd started biting my nails again.
Because
I'd fucking been thinking about it.
Yeah.
Back to square one.
Right,
we power on.
Yeah, power on. Tell me.
These, right.
Tell me. I still feel 13. Bad that we're not talking about this other thing as much, but bear with us, folks. We might come back to it.
Right, here's one that'll you'll enjoy some. Banking and global finance feature strongly. Shit, what have I pushed there?
Feature strongly.
The current landscape will change with several global super banks emerging at the same time as a reintroduction of localised building societies and civil trusts. Expect a major revamp of mortgages and long-term borrowing through a cyber theft of the financial kind will shake another bank at its roots.
A cyber theft?
I don't know what that means. Maybe like somebody hacks banks or something like that. It's weird how they're saying that all these things will come back with like bank societies and stuff like that, and building societies. You never get them. I'll tell you, I don't know. You want to say about that?
Nah, carry on.
A light storm from the heavens turns our attention above as technology loses orbit and lights up the sky. It's a satellite.
That's
fucking-
big.
But the thing is, like, do you see the satellite? Remember, like, when it was coming up Christmas, they're like, oh, if you look, like, in the sky, like, you can see the satellite.
Oh, yeah?
And they're like, everybody was like, oh, tell your kids it's Santa or something like that. That was like a thing on Facebook.
Wow, really?
Apparently.
Here you get a chance to see a fucking satellite and you're going to tell your kids, oh, that's Santa. That's not something we humans manage to do. That's the Santa.
Aye.
Fucking hell.
News of a sunken ship beneath the oceans will accompany revelations of lost treasures as a wreck is found by chance. Alexandria and Atlantis will be the focus of discussion. Have we found the mythical city?
Is this the one that supposedly came true?
No, that was Antibiotics one.
Right, because I saw an article.
I think I've said something about Atlantis as well.
I don't know how old the article was, but I saw it recently on my feed about them finding all these sort of Egyptian style statues. They're saying it's not Atlantis, but it is a sunken city and all this kind of stuff. Now, unfortunately for him, because he's claiming to be a psychic and the type of person that he is and the type of person he's interested in, the type of stuff that he's interested in, I'm all too familiar with it.
And them type of people won't know and they won't.
They fucking all talk about Atlantis. All of them. They all talk about Atlantis and someday we'll discover this stuff. So if he is a legitimate, be able to, whatever you call him, psychic.
Should we try and get him on? He's from Alloa.
He can come on if he wants, yeah.
I think he's got a big waiting list, but I mean, surely could fucking give up tours for a night.
A waiting list for getting a reading?
Aye. Do you think you could give us readings live?
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind having him on, but I'd feel like I'd end up being not hostile towards him, but I'd end up embarrassing him a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd worry about that. 'Cause I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, I know.
But it does annoy me slightly, as people can probably tell. I just don't like lies.
I would kind of like to go for a reading and see what you said, but then...
No, don't go for a reading. We'll do it on air. You can get a reading.
On air?
I'm good. So you tell him we'll pay for it, but...
I don't know, but I would like to question him as well, and I kind of think he's the type of person, and just in his particular job, or he's whatever you would call it, I wouldn't call it a job, but he's the type of person that wouldn't respond well to questioning. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. In his line of work, even. Well,
the thing is, I mean, I don't know if people would have seen this. There's a Darren Brown program with a psychic. Yeah, that guy, as soon as he got scrutinised, it was...
He didn't like it.
He didn't like it.
Yeah.
And he... fairly aggressive. And I actually imagine, and maybe it's a bit unfair, but I can imagine a lot of them being like that.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they would be.
How dare you question... Because you're not just questioning what they believe. You're questioning their livelihood.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's like they don't want to be made a mock of.
And
but
do you know what?
Is with that, he maybe wouldn't want to come on here knowing this is going to be broadcast, because if we're doing this, there's obviously, if he does like a television interview, there's obviously going to be some kind of chance that he's going to be scrutinised.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I think it is though with these people? I think most of them don't realise that they're fooling themselves.
Yeah.
I think most of them believe that their intuition is something else, because that's all it really is intuition. You know, I can make a few deductions, I can Sherlock Holmes you and make a few assumptions about you.
Yeah.
And if I happen to get some of them right, I can chalk up to, well, you know, I know you fairly well, and even if I didn't, I'm able to look at you and I can look at the way that you shave, and you know, maybe think about, you know, the type of person that you are, and come to some, you know, all it is intuition. I can come to some conclusions about you, and if I've got good intuition, and I can pick up on the way that you talk and your body language and all that stuff, there's a chance I might be right with a few things that I come out with. People don't know that that's what's going on.
Yeah. And
so people think, oh, I just must be psychic. I just must have this ability to see through people and see into their soul and all that stuff.
It's weird,
So I don't even think he's being... I don't think he doesn't think he's taking advantage of people. He doesn't think that he's lying. He just thinks, no, I am.
He does a thing as well, like on his Facebook, like he does read. Is it him? I don't know if it's him or if it's somebody else, but they do readings like over like the internet. Like,
no.
Like,
I was going to joke and say over Facebook.
yeah, honestly, there's
No.
people comment and say like, "Will this happen? Will that happen?" And they'll fucking
Fucking hell.
respond. And you're like,
Well, people do it as well. You've got that
because
psychic.
they're asking him they're asking him a direct question. Do you know what I mean?
You've got the psychic.tv or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Psychic network and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? It's completely in the same realm of all the stuff that's been going on this week with Islam and my criticism of
Right.
Islam, where it's this belief, and all the problems stem from the fact that they are believing something that they have no evidence for. It's not true, and depending on what you believe, depending on what the doctrine is, it can be quite harmful. There's degrees of Sam Harris actually compares it to like sport. You know, if like tennis is a sport,
Yeah.
but not all sports are the same.
No.
Because poker's a sport.
Right.
Yet they have almost nothing in common with each other except breathing.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing. But that still technically a sport. So religions like that, you get, and this new idea, this new spiritualism thing, is not even that new, but it's another in place of religion. I'm going to believe this crazy thing that makes me separate from the majority, that makes me feel like I've got something special. But there's a degree of how much harm you can cause doing that. I'd say there is a little bit of harm to what he's doing there.
Yeah.
If nothing else, he's convincing people that he has magic powers and he's taking money off of them.
Yeah.
But do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
and especially if you read into if people are going on his Facebook and they're reading that and you're like, oh, 2, well, they'll make it fit as well. Yeah, he's got 3 right so far, and we're only in January. Fucking hell!
Right. So in December, you should come back to this.
We should come back to in December.
Aye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even then, we could talk about it and slightly make things fit if we wanted to.
It's funny as well. No, you're talking about like people like letting themselves believe things like that just with like the slightest bit of aye. Do you remember a while ago I was talking about the whole ghost thing and how I joined like the ghost thing on Facebook and I was going to go on like a ghost hunt or something like that. Like I've never actually been on a ghost hunt. But what is that? Did you not hear that?
I had my headphones on.
I've never actually been on a ghost hunt, but what? That's annoying. No, but people all the time on this fucking like ghost hunters thing post up pictures of fucking rooms and they're like, can you see this? And I'm like, no, I can't. Do you know what I mean? And like I always say like I really would like to believe in something like ghosts, but like that's fucking dust or something. Like you're in an old abandoned building,
well,
like that's fucking shit floating about in the air. But the amount of people that are like, or like there's a face down the bottom right hand corner and I think there's a child over there and there's and they're like, no, it's a fucking dark room with a flash, like a pure quality flash.
I'd hope that you would like for something like that to be true rather than just I'd like to be able to believe in something like that.
But it's all the people that go on and they're like yeah. But see, it's like and it always happens and then I'll be like, nah, that's just dust. Like I don't see why that has to be an orb. Like, I want to believe in ghosts, but I don't see why that has to be an orb. Like why can it not be dust? And then like everybody's like.
But then it's just assumed as well that an orb is this thing that has to do with ghosts. That's just for a foregone conclusion. And so the argument is over whether or not it's dust or whether or not it's an orb. But the whole point of the fucking picture and the fucking thing is, no, we're supposed to be looking for ghosts.
Yeah.
It's like, but we found an orb. Who gives a shit? What
dust.
can an orb do? An orb's nothing. Maybe there are such things as orbs which are supernatural that you know, you can only see through certain camera lenses, and maybe they are a being in and of themselves, but it's got fuck all to do with ghosts.
Some of them are weird as fuck. Like honestly, go on it and like they accept you in that and always like write them a wee. They never have sent me like a message saying like, why do you not fucking like? That's because I'd never want to be like, what the fuck is this user mental, like this is a load of horse shit. Like because I like to see it. That's why I'm like I want to believe. I kind of would like to believe in ghosts if I'm honest, but like if I seen something compelling enough, do you know what I mean? I would need to see for myself. I couldn't go by like somebody else telling me or like seeing a picture of dust or some shit like that.
Well, the thing is, it makes it, for that to be true, it makes the world a little bit more interesting. and that's where people are like, oh, I want to believe in it. I want that to be true, because then it's something else to get excited about.
Yeah.
But I think I've seen the power of falsely applying something to something else, like falsely applying causality to something else, and it's fucking dangerous. And you have to hold truth and what is reality. You have to have that above everything else, because otherwise you get fucking lost.
Aye, right. Well, we keep going with these predictions.
Yeah, go for it.
Are you getting annoyed?
I don't know if we should have some like Skype on. We sometimes have it so that people can phone in.
You can turn it on then, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Okay.
Wait till you're number 17. We're on number 6. We turn Skype on. Just turn it on.
See, I don't know if I've got it set up properly, but we'll try.
I'll keep going anyway. Number 16, international attention is drawn to Peru. I may be quite specific again. As the global community notes the headlines of many newspapers, the forest comes alive.
It's asking for the password. I can't remember. Sorry, say again. The
international attention is drawn to Peru as the global community notes as the headlines of many newspapers. The global community notes the headlines of many newspapers. Sorry, the forest comes alive. That's. I mean, it's kind of specific in the sense that it mentions Peru like a specific country, but I mean, the forest comes alive. The global community notes the headlines of many newspapers. It's kind of vague as well. Do you know what I mean?
And the thing is, if all the other bits were to fit, apart from the Peru bit, yet something happened in a country next to Peru, everyone would go, "Oh, he was so close."
Yeah, that's it.
And then they would turn that into, "Well, he was right. He was right. He just got the location wrong. He was close though."
Here's one. Missing flight MH370 will be found intact and on land. That was one of the conspiracies that we discussed.
But it wasn't on land. I think, did it get found?
It never got found. Remember that we were talking about how it could be on that Diego Garcia place, and the guy had the phone up his arse and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but I'm sure there was a further development with this MH30. I'm going to check it.
Alright. There will be no logical explanation as to how it arrived at its destination. Imagine if it was just like in the middle of a forest, like perfectly fucking. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, it's not been found.
How it arrived at no logical explanation will be given as to how it arrived at its destination. Prayers go out to those missing in this modern day Mary Celeste. The voyage card. This is where a weird bit. The voyage card features again as we see several maritime incidents and plane accidents in 2015.
Well, do you know what?
Imagine if that plane just turned up in the middle of like the Amazon rainforest, like perfectly intact, surrounded by trees.
Well, do you know what? What happens if it doesn't?
Well, nothing.
No. Something does happen though, and this I'm going to say I'm actually glad that this guy's done this and put this prediction up there, because you know what? If in 2015 that plane does not get found, this guy's full of shit. That's what that means.
I suppose that's a definite.
That's he's signed his own.
But that could be one. That might not be one of the 6 that he gets right.
No. It doesn't matter though. That's his prediction.
Right.
He's saying that it's true. If that doesn't come true, then nothing he says matters.
Right. Well, we need to fucking.
Imagine the plane was in a forest, perfectly broken into pieces and burnt out.
It could be that.
Yeah, it finds it perfectly in a forest. It's there. It's where they said it was, but no, it's not intact.
Broken.
It's broken up. It's burnt.
The next one, number 18. We say goodbye to 2 popular and well-known male Scots as the circle of life completes.
I'll make a prediction. I'll make a prediction right now.
Yeah.
The 2 male Scots. He's talking about Billy Connolly and
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. That's who he's talking about.
There's more to that one. One triggers reruns of this is where it. Oh, Sean Connery.
Oh.
One
Sean
triggers
Connery.
reruns of one of the most infamous film franchises created. He was Bond a lot of the time, and the other a character that's Scotland personified. It has to be Billy and Sean.
Is that what he said?
The other a character that's Scotland personified.
Now, do you see there when he said 2 Scottish guys will cease to exist My mind went to two Scottish guys, Billy Connolly and Sean Connery.
Older. Aye.
And two guys called Scott.
Very good. Two male Scots.
Two male Scots. He was right. He's fine. But that's what I'm saying. My mind was drawn to it, and for the exact same reasons that his mind was drawn to it. Not because he's a psychic. Because if you say it's like there's this whole thing. Like if you go down the street and you say to someone, name a vegetable, and it can't be a tomato. Name it.
Carrot.
Carrot. It's carrot all the time. Right. Every time it's carrot.
Right. Okay.
Right. You actually said carrot, so I wasn't able to say 9 times out of 10 it's carrot. But it is carrot. 9 times out of 10 it's carrot.
Right.
Right. Now that's just a thing. That's because we have like this. We have. I don't know. There's just like a.
It is a thing. Like,
there's cultural triggers for the way that
I read that one when it came up, and the first name I thought it was Billy Connolly. I struggled to think of the second one.
Yeah.
But the thing is that he's got that like one of the most infamous film franchises. So then you're going to be like, if it's anybody else, you're going to struggle to place that on somebody else. Do you know what I mean?
X-Men.
James McAvoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibly, but what does he say about it?
It just says it triggers reruns of one of the most infamous film franchises. But see, infamous is like more than famous. It has to be.
And reruns, like you don't see X-Men reruns all the time.
And the other, a character that's Scotland personified. What about the guy that's Ramsay Nesbitt?
Nah, he's not. Scotland personified would mean that you think of Scotland, you think of this guy.
I suppose other people outside of Scotland
outside of Scotland, they'd have to. That's the only. They have to think of Billy Connolly.
Oh my god, this one sounds a bit fucked up.
Which I don't know. I think we should maybe send Billy Connolly a tweet.
You might die.
Like,
man.
By the way, dude, 2015 could be your
Did
year.
you not have like a cancer scare or something like that? I don't know. Right, Mother Nature.
Although I'll tell you something, that would be a weird one.
If Billy Connolly died.
If Billy Connolly died, that would be just run of the mill. Someone else died, happened to be Billy Connolly, blah blah blah. If Billy Connolly and Sean Connery died in the same year, that would be a little bit kind of.
That's like I know.
It
would be like Ant and Dec died in the same year.
Yeah,
separate incidents.
Yeah. So it'd be a little bit strange that two Scottish
I
cultural.
think we should definitely try and keep up with these. Even if.
I'll tell you what. If Billy Connolly dies, it'll be, and then everyone will be looking at Sean Connery. Well, me and you will be looking at Sean Connery. No, but do you know what I mean? Like this is.
He's getting on as well.
The thing is, if Billy Connolly died and Sean Connery died, it would still, in my mind, just be absolute coincidence. I would not be convinced.
Like a fucking, I don't know, man. That's a big thing. Two big actors.
I would have to first of all think, because my mind couldn't go towards, this guy's right. My mind would first of all have to go towards, what was this guy's thought process? And then I'd have to actually look into.
Well, the two of them are getting on. Like Sean Connery's like I think he's older than Billy, but the two of them are definitely getting on. Yeah.
It's not like it's two young guys. And the thing is, he's not actually like he knows he's talking about Billy Connolly and Sean Connery. He knows that. The thing is
about all these rich people, they're all in private healthcare and that. They have the fucking best of the best. Do you know what I mean?
True. But this guy that's writing this, if you were to ask him, when you say, like when you've written this is who's going to die, these two people, and you describe them the way that you do.
Yeah.
If you ask him, who do you think you're describing? What's he going to say?
Yeah.
He's going to say Billy Connolly. So why not just
name it?
Just say Billy Connolly and Sean Connery are probably going to die.
And it's too specific, and it isn't. That's it.
It's in case, because the thing is, if James McAvoy dies, if Billy Connolly dies, and then James McAvoy ends up in a fucking car crash or something, he'll latch onto that and he'll go, "Yep, the franchise I was talking about was X-Men."
And the Scotland personified. Scotland is Kevin Bridges.
It could be Kevin Bridges. That's the thing. He's leaving it. He's leaving it open.
Yeah.
He's fucking
if
leaving it open.
You start to think about it.
And do you know what? It could be two obscure guys, and then he'll go, "No, I just mean Scotland personified, as in I mean he was really Scottish."
Aye, he was from Scotland.
Ewan McGregor.
Aye. Star Wars.
He
was in 3 Star Wars films and reruns because the new ones are coming out.
Oh yeah.
Fucking put.
That's true. Franchise, yeah.
Right. Anyway, where are we? I'm back at the Great Sword of Light. Do you not hear that noise? It's the rain. Where are we?
Fucking helpful.
Mother Nature features again as the Earth's magnetic field shifts. Something very old which has been quiet for centuries is about to reawaken due to our interference and obsession of digging to the centre of the planet. There are lessons to be learned about our existence and history, with newly discovered bacteria a catalyst for illness and new medicines. News of Ebola will hit Western nations. Now, Ebola was happening before New Year. Eh?
There was a story there that, you know, because Katie Hopkins had said something about it.
Yeah.
There was someone who had apparently signs of Ebola. They've been cleared now, but there was
Glasgow.
Yeah, there was stuff in the. I don't even know what Katie. Oh, I don't even know what Katie Hopkins said about that.
Oh.
Just that, you know, typical Katie Hopkins. I actually don't even. I don't. You know now when someone says Katie Hopkins has commented on this thing, I don't even fucking read it. And this is the thing. My mum is a fucking diehard Big Brother fan.
Mm-hmm.
She fucking loves Big Brother. And this year on the Celebrity Big Brother, I think it was like the first person in, Katie Hopkins.
Uh-huh.
And my mum was telling me about this, and she goes, "I turned it off."
Good.
She will fucking not watch that. That is, you know, and absolutely right. That's how you fucking deal with this shit.
Yeah.
You just absolutely ignore it. Fuck you. You're not getting her attention. If you want to be, yeah. Anyway, Katie Hopkins. I don't know why I started talking about. Why did I start talking about Katie Hopkins?
Here's one that's kind of specific, but again, maybe not all that specific. A dark, given like what's kind of happening in the world and that kind of stuff just now. A dark cloud hangs over a sporting event as a firearm is discharged into the crowd.
A sporting event?
So that could be anything. Well, it could be anything like.
Well, it wasn't a sporting event, but who was it? Chris Brown? Did you see that?
No.
There's footage on YouTube. There was Chris Brown was at some event in America, and it was just a small place, I think, and he was doing like a sort of. It almost seemed like it was like an impromptu like performance thing, and he was like up on stage, and there was loads of people around him and security and stuff, and he sang the song, and some guy just started letting off rounds, and I think 5 people were shot, something like that.
Oh my god!
I don't know if they all died or anything, but like I think 5 people were shot.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Chris Brown thing, and it was filmed.
Aye.
Yeah, people with their camera phones.
Oh shit!
It's kind of mad that actually. You know, was it Dimebag, the Pantera?
Aye, he was shot on stage.
Yeah, if that had happened like more recently, you would have footage of that. You'd have like the people with their camera phones.
Aye, it would be.
Yeah.
It's funny as well that thing about what was that magician called? Tommy Cooper. He was like a magician, like fucking like in the 60s or something like that, and he was on telly, maybe in the 70s or 80s or something. I don't know. But he was doing his acting on stage, like he just fucking like he took a heart attack or something and died, and everybody just thought it was his act because he was like a comedian as well.
Oh yeah.
And he just fucking died.
No, you know the guy with the wee fez?
Aye, that's him. Aye.
Was that him?
Aye.
Yeah.
He died on stage.
Fucking hell.
We're nearly there, Sam.
Let's have another beer, Paul.
I think so. You want me to get them?
Aye.
What are you going? Well, I'll read 21 and you get 2 beers. Right, number 21.
Like
that's a big one, Sam.
okay.
A major terrorist attack hits several countries simultaneously. This coincides with a significant cyber attack which disrupts the internet and telecommunications. There is an assassination attempt on a key politician who declares the war on terror as World War III.
Could still happen.
Is that specific or is that quite... That's kind of specific, I suppose.
Well, the fact that he's saying it would happen at the same time, you would think that's a little bit specific, you know, because when does that ever happen? But guess what? That does happen. Happened at 7/7, the bombing thing. You know, you can say that this all took place at the same time as they were coordinating a defence plan against it.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads of ways that you can make these
fit,
projections fit, is what my point is. And so... I guess it's just a case of we need to wait the year out. But what I will say is, though, especially with terror attacks, there's always predictions about terror attacks.
Yeah.
See, before the Olympics came to London, there was a massive, and people will forget about this. And this show is almost about conspiracy theorists rather than just because we haven't even really spoken about this stuff in France, but. This is a thing, and people will forget, but there were people that were adamant that there was going to be a terrorist attack because they could point to the stadium was built with like the pyramids and the way that it lit up. It was all fucking Illuminati symbolism, and there was a card. There's this deck of cards. It's like playing cards almost, not like normal playing cards. You know, like it was like a game, and it's I think it's even called like the Illuminati card game or whatever.
Right.
And it has all these hidden images and symbology in it that people look into, and one of them was, look, there's a bomb in here thing, and there's like a big explosion thing blowing up, and the colours up above are the colours of the Olympic rings.
Yeah.
So something has to happen here. The Olympics, they're telling us. Can you not see it? They're telling us.
Nothing happened.
And of course, I think it actually had like a London red bus or something like that. There was something that linked it to London.
Yeah.
So it was like something, London Olympics, something is going to happen.
I remember hearing stuff about it as well.
Well, guess what? Nothing happened.
No.
Nothing happened, and all those conspiracy theorists have completely went quiet on that.
But if it did happen...
if it did happen, if something happened to Olympics, and the thing is, there could have been, let's say an Islamic dude wanting to terrorise some folks, and he happens to be into all this Illuminati stuff, and he sees that card.
Yeah.
And then he goes, that's it, that's my calling. Allah's told me, it's the Olympics, that's what I need to do. And then he goes off and pulls this event, and he did it only because he saw it in the fucking card, or whatever. And then you've got all the conspiracy theorists going, aha! Yeah. We were right! It was in the cards, there's something going on, it's a greater conspiracy. Fucking
ridiculous. Number 22 is, I don't know, it could be done, like it's not that fucking thing made. There will be a health scare for a religious icon, public events and private meetings to be cancelled as a result. Could the Pope require heart surgery? Now he's old, so he could require heart surgery.
Well, but is he saying the Pope will require, or is he saying...
It just says, could the Pope require heart surgery?
That's not... asking a question is not making a prediction.
Yeah.
This is trickery. This is trickery.
But his thing of, like, there will be a health scare for a religious icon, but he's putting as, could it be the Pope? Could it be fucking... I don't know.
A health scare, though. I mean, what is a health scare? It doesn't have to be a heart attack. It could be...
Yeah.
In his previous thing, he said an assassination attempt.
Yeah.
Oh, they all link in.
An incident at a theme park leaves several people injured. That could happen.
Oh, I'll tell you something. If I said to you a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to be as vague as possible, Paul, I think there's going to be a health scare. Might not be with you, it might just be like within your family or something. How long before that prediction becomes true?
Yeah, I know.
Do you know what I mean?
That's it.
This is what
of
these
all
people
the theme
do.
parks all over the world in 365 days, I'm sure something's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? And the last one, an aviation collision as two airplanes collide whilst one is waiting to land. Again, it could happen.
It probably has happened in 2014. Yeah, I don't know. I more respect him for doing that, though, because there's so many psychics that if you ask them, we'll make a prediction.
Yeah.
Tell me something that's going to happen.
And he's saying it's happening within a time frame of a year.
Yeah, so I've got more respect for him, because at least then when it doesn't happen, when flight MH37, so I have to make 10 predictions for the year. Well, just like when his stuff doesn't come true, it's at least then he's debunked.
Let's see which ones come through.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not good at making predictions.
It could be like the most fucking general thing. You could be just like...
Well, I get to be,
Well, I get the sneezes at some point or something like that.
I wonder, do they have to be about Paul or just anyone in general?
Does it have to be like worldwide, or could it be like in within your own life?
10 predictions. Oh, you're putting me on the fucking spot here.
Will I get a haircut? Yes, you will.
I predict that Apple will release a new phone.
Yes.
It's going to be a version of the phone that they have now, but just slightly altered. That's my first prediction. The second prediction is, I don't know, I'm trying to be a bit more serious about it. In my head, I'm thinking, no, make a good prediction. 2015. I don't know. You know what? All my predictions, all my frame of reference with all this stuff.
Just vague worldwide shit.
Just vague worldwide shit.
Right, well, we should make 10 vague worldwide shits and predictions and see if we can do it. Like a major weather event. Is he predicting a major weather event?
I think he is. I think he's putting it into our brains because maybe
people
he is.
Like, who are they talking to?
Yeah, we're talking to God.
Get Paul to write them down. Okay, well,
we're talking to Allah, peace be upon him.
Right, 10. Don't lose your shit. 10 predictions. 10 predictions.
I think there's going to be a major hurricane.
Anywhere.
It will be. It will be.
Well, if it's slash tornado.
It will be in the north.
Northern hemisphere.
In the northern hemisphere.
Hemisphere.
Major.
I wrote major. I'll underline it. I'm just thinking about weather things now as well.
I'm trying to think of injuries or deaths or something that you could predict or put on I think something's going to happen to Russell Brand. You know that?
Do you?
Some sort of scandal.
Alright, Russell Brand scandal.
I think, yeah. Some sort of Russell Brand scandal where a lot of people will turn on him.
Brand scandal. The people will turn on him.
He's going to lose a lot of fans. What's he saying? South Africa wins the Cricket World Cup. His one is that South Africa will win the Cricket World Cup.
Is there any major sporting events this year?
Ask him. He'll know.
That was a kind of general.
He's writing them down. We'll see how the Muslims online type PBUH after they type Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Because they can't be fucked typing it.
Funny.
They abbreviate the peace be upon him. Why don't they abbreviate in their fucking language?
Yeah.
PB,
The story. What was that? The story about the black people complaining about the white girl in the supermarket photo selling the Annie clothes.
That's what I was saying. That's a whole podcast.
Oh, right, okay. I've not read
there's a whole thing that, and you know what? It kind of bleeds into what we're talking about here, almost with the thing in France, because my problem or my issue that I'm having that I'd like to get out, my grievance is with this fucking left wing bleeding heart fucking attitude that we all seem to, because I'm left leaning, I'm assuming you are as well, in favor of democracy and trying to prop up minorities and looking out for the underdog, and I'm fairly socialist and all this stuff. Bill Maher came out, he was interviewed on Jimmy Kimmel, I think it was, and he put it perfectly. He said, look, I am the one that fucking stands up for minorities. I stand up for blacks, for homosexuals, for women, for Mexicans. I stand up for these people, have done my whole life. I'm the libertarian here. So when I say that fucking Islam is a doctrine of fucking hatred, or that Islam is, as Sam Harris said, the motherlode of bad ideas, that is not coming from a place of ignorance or bigotry or anything like that. It's an educated fucking analysis of this religion. And what happens is, the amount of people, especially on my Facebook, the amount of people that are fucking uneducated about Islam, yet they have this pussified, pansy fucking view of all religions are the same. No, they're fucking not. They're not. They're just absolutely not. You fucking retard. They're not. Jainism is a religion encompassed by pacifism.
Right.
And a fundamentalist Jain would be absolutely paralyzed by pacifism to the point where they can't walk down the fucking street out of fear of stepping on a bug.
Right.
That would be your idea of a fundamentalist Jain.
Right.
If you handed a society, if you went to a society on an island where there was fucking nothing else, and they had no other reference point, you gave them the Quran. If you came back and they were all fucking beheading homosexuals and stoning non-believers and doing all this fucking crazy shit, you know, like they do today, cutting the fucking clitorises off of little girls. Jesus Christ, I can't believe no one else is fucking standing up for this, but I actually can't believe it. This goes on in the world, and it is directly because of the hatred in this fucking document, this doctrine. Mm-hmm. And if you came back and they were all doing this stuff, you could not be surprised because they're taking a literal interpretation of the fucking book that you gave them. Uh-huh. If you came back and instead of giving them the Quran, you had given them the teachings of fucking Buddha or the teachings of the Jains, and they were killing each other, you would not be able to rationalize it. You would be absolutely fucking stunned. You'd be like, where's the connection here? It makes no sense. Uh-huh. With Islam, it's fucking easy. There's a direct line from A to fucking B, and no one wants to fucking acknowledge this.
Right.
Everyone is filled with these fucking punchlines of not all Muslims are bad people. Well, guess what? Not all fucking Nazis were bad people. They still did what the fuck they did.
I had good Nazi stories as well.
I get fucking angry, and it's not. Do you know what? This event happened, and it wasn't like this event happened, and I sat there and I got really fucking angry. I got annoyed, and I was like, you know, another fucking Muslim attack. This happens all the time. Hopefully now something will change. Hopefully now the people will stand up and this will stop. What's made me fucking angry is I think you should either do what Charlie Hebdo were doing and criticize Islam for what it is, push the boundaries, and you know, say that you want fucking freedom of expression, you want these things, and you're going to fight and die for these things, and you should support what they did, or remain neutral, shut the fuck up. If you want to post shit about cream eggs, go fucking do that. Don't sit there and detract from the much needed fucking dialogue that's almost about to happen, where we actually criticize Islam and the teachings and the dangerous fucking teachings. We almost are at the point of criticizing it, but instead you've got all these fucking retard, pussified fucking liberals, and I'm including Kieran and Ben in this, where they don't have a fucking clue. And I saw Kieran bought a Quran today. Thank fuck, read it. And Ben, who just wants to fucking have an opinion on this, and there's this weird attitude of, let's just everybody get along, let's just everybody be happy. I want everyone to get along, I want everyone to be happy, but you can't fucking ignore what's going on in reality. Oh, yeah. Fuck it, it annoys me. They have this weird fucking attitude, and it's the same thing. I see we're going to have that conversation there. He was saying about what's going on in America right now with, well, it's not like a major issue in America or anything, but what's happened, there was that film Annie came out, right?
Yeah. Annie
came out, and they've remade Annie to be a black family.
Yeah.
You know, the black child gets adopted by the black guy, and it's all black now. The poster, it's all black people. And the weird thing is, it's like fucking, you know, Annie is part of her character is her image, which is ginger hair.
Yeah.
And
that's like her thing.
And it's not necessarily even that she's white, but good luck finding a black ginger hair girl.
Yeah.
But that's part of her image, is she's white with ginger hair. That's Annie. That's what everyone fucking knows is Annie. Then, you know, so then there's this weird sort of push in the media to try and appease black culture by trying to include them in everything, but it's so fucking forced. And this is why people are annoyed. And this, I was going to say, this is a whole other fucking podcast that we could do. But basically, what's happening with the Annie thing is that they had Target. Is the store that they have where they sell these clothes. They were selling the fucking Annie clothes, and they actually asked the girl if she wanted to pose for Target to be in the, you know, in the cover, the images, the posters. But she declined. She didn't want to do it. So then they ended up getting other kids to do it. The other kids happened to be white,
Ginger hair.
Not necessarily ginger hair, just white, just other kids.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're in America and you go out, I need some kids, you know, chances are the ones that you find are going to be white. That's the fucking majority of the population.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was white, and you know, I think they even had an Asian girl on one of them. But so whatever, they had like a diverse range. But the blacks are fucking furious. How dare you not use a black girl?
That's ridiculous, though.
Yeah. How dare you? You mean, how dare we not actively use a black person?
Yeah.
Like, wasn't your whole thing about how like we can't say how dare you not use for the film? How dare you not have a white girl with ginger hair? We didn't even say that because we know how you fucking react.
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is with that, I bet they didn't do it on the way of like, right, we're auditioning for Annie, like who's going to be Annie, and loads of girls come in, but then just happened like a couple of black lasses come in and thought I might as well try it, and they're like, right, she's black, like she's really good, she'd be a brilliant Annie. Mm-hmm. We'll need to make the rest of them black. Do you know what I mean? Or was it like, we're going to do Annie, but she's going to be black this time?
Yeah, no, I guarantee they were sitting in the meeting and they were like, wait a minute. Because if they had said, let's remake Annie, everyone would have been like, oh, I don't know. Well, wait a minute. What if we made a black Annie? Spice it up a bit. Make it different.
Because then it was like, I can't believe they made a black Annie. We need to go and see this shit.
Yeah. Well, it's
Imagine
like,
if that was the film North Korea was outraged at.
But my point is, and it's nothing to do with whether or not they've cast a black family or anything like that. Uh-huh. My grievance and all this nonsense is, first of all, you've got the black outrage from the girl in the poster for Annie and Target being white. It's just like, you're the one who's invoking, you're the one that is playing the race card and saying, no, it shouldn't be. Annie's supposed to be black. Annie's always been black. What? No, she hasn't. But my grievance with it's the same thing with this Charlie Hebdo thing. It's the fucking liberal reaction of how dare you criticize, how dare you even talk about it, you must be racist, you must be bigoted, you can't even have an honest conversation about it.
Yeah.
I was speaking to I won't mention names, but I was speaking to someone a few weeks ago about how they had a mandate for this the sports football show, Match of the Day or some shit like that.
Right.
Where they have a panel, Gary Lineker's on it, and there's about 4 of them, and they had a mandate that they have to have at least 2 African.
All right, I was completely confused by your story there, Sam. I thought like you're telling me about somebody that had a mandate, like, come on, man, we'll go. To we'll go to like Nando's or something.
They've basically changed the contract of the show or whatever to say that there has to at least be 2 black. People.
I think you've talked about this before.
Yeah. Now the whole point of that is so that there can be diversity.
Yeah.
And I thought, but that's bullshit. That's bullshit because you're actually, now when I said it's bullshit, the reaction I got from the person I was telling, I'm not going to name names, I said, but the reaction I got was, oh yeah, the whites have had it hard enough. Mm-hmm. As if I'm fucking like, I'm saying it's bullshit because I'm trying to stick up for the whites. Uh-huh. And I'm saying that no, it should be down to whoever's most credible. Yeah, it should be down to whoever's most credible. But on top of that, this pandering to the blacks is not only insulting to the blacks, you know, but it's also, if you're going to say, no, there has to be diversity laws to include, there's 4 panel members, 2 of them have to be black. What about the fucking Asian community?
Yeah.
What about the Arab community? Like, no, that's just completely ignored because in order to show that you're not racist, you have to have a black person. Why? In England, in the UK? Why? Oh, because of the slavery that went on in America.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that got to do with, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I'm getting annoyed. There's just this impulse to want to be nice. And out goes the fucking brain, out goes the fucking historical context, out goes the arguments. You know, it's like a fucking. It does with everything. With feminism as well. You get these guys that
have this fucking weird thing to say now. You should be a feminist. If you're not a feminist, then you're against women. And I just think, fuck off. I serious that much of fucking pussy.
Yeah.
That you are a male feminist. I don't understand the world. I don't understand it.
I mean, I'm sure I've talked about it before, and that's when that Butler coming out.
Butler, yeah, great film as well.
Aye, but like when I remember Sky or something, there was a massive space about it, and it was presented by Oprah.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was obviously full of black people, but like everybody was mad at it. It just kept going on about how like they'd been liberated. Maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was that. What was that? That was about slavery.
Oprah was in.
It must have been Butler.
Yeah, she.
But all this film was about. It was honestly, it was filmed like it was like I don't know. They were doing like a special one, and it was just filmed with like it was just all black people. There was like no white people in it. It was just all about the kind of colour people. But they were doing it as like this is like a great thing for coloured people, and it got to the point where it was annoying that they kept talking about it that much. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
and it's a weird thing as well. You're talking about discrimination, like on a different, not on a racial. But I used to work at a job and it was dealing a lot with
just quickly on the whole thing about it, because you're saying how they keep on going on about it and on about it and on about it. Now that might sound rich coming from us two white guys, like, you know, how dare they keep on going on about it. Fucking Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Go look up what Morgan Freeman's opinion is on race. His opinion is stop fucking talking about it.
Aye.
Because that's what keeps it going.
That's it. Aye.
You know what I mean? Like,
people bring it up,
like people, and if people want to say, oh no, but the blacks had a fucking hard time with slavery, we can't just discredit that whole fucking part of history. There are more fucking white descendants from slaves than there are black. Go fuck yourself.
Wow, I never knew that. That's a fucking truth bomb. But no, like that whole thing about that Butler, it just did get to the point where you're like, are they seriously still going on about this? Do you know what I mean? And it was in every clip she'd be sitting with, like, she'd be interviewing an actor, and then she'd be interviewing another one, and then interviewing the group, and every time she kept bringing it up, and you're like, why? Like, we know that it happened. But I need to be kind of careful how I word this because I think it could come across quite bad. But at a job that I used to work at, we used to deal with a lot of it was a lot of data entry and stuff like that. And we used to deal with a lot of mail, like a lot of posts and stuff. And it was a lot of like paper sorting. Like it could be like there was different areas in the work. One of them was like maybe paper sorting. The other area was like typing. And they hired this guy, and I was younger at the time. I don't know how, it was like my first job. But this guy was like, he was disabled. It was like he was fine, he would chat away and that, but like it was like more of a physical disability. Like he couldn't walk quite right, and he had like his hand was kind of, I don't know what the word you would say is. It was like kind of bent into a certain shape, if you know what I mean. I don't really know what the thing was with it, but I said to somebody, and this again is like younger me, maybe not like sensible. I was like, why did they give him the job, right? And they were like, oh, and somebody had said, oh, like there's like a certain quota that we have to have with like a thingy. And the thing is, like, because of this guy's like disability, like because we were typing, he was slow because he could only type with one hand, or if it was paper sorting, he'd really struggle with it. Yeah. And it was a shame as well because I almost felt like I would feel like he's trying in that, and that's good. And I'm not saying like they should, like everybody should be entitled to a job if they can do it. Do you know what I mean?
No,
I was just saying at that point I was like, you didn't have to give him the job. Maybe like if you put out an advertisement for this job and say like so many like 20 applicants turned up and he was the one guy that was disabled, you know, like right, we have to give him it. Do you know what I mean? You don't if he's going to be not good at the job. Do you know what I mean? And that's like no offense to him or anybody.
I completely agree
with
you. I completely agree with you. And I mean, you know, I have the same fucking weird attitude. It's a strangeness because you think, yeah, you've got the fucking right to work there, you know, I guess, you know, and they've got their quota and all that stuff. It's weird. Like I swear to God, I was at a nightclub one time, and they have a certain section of the room where it's like the dance floor. Yeah. And there's a dude with a wheelchair strolling into the dance floor.
Right.
And I'm like, you have the right to do that. But if I was in a wheelchair, I wouldn't be able to make sense of why it's necessary for me to fucking go in there.
Yeah.
You know, if that makes him feel more normal and whatever else, then what was that?
You said wow.
Like, if that makes him feel more normal to go in there and feel more like then fair enough.
Yeah.
And it's not my place to. I certainly wouldn't tell him you can't do that. But guess what? He has the right to do it. I've got the right to find it weird.
Yeah.
I've got the right to think that's a bit fucking strange. I don't know if I was in a wheelchair, would I do that? And everyone's having to move it the way, and everyone around him has this.
Oh my god! Right, sorry.
But everyone around him has this weird look of that's weird, but I can't say anything. I have to be paralysed here because I don't want to appear as offensive,
awkward or uncomfortable around it, or do you know what I mean? But like the thing is, like and
I'm taking a stand now because this is what's needed. We need people that stand up and purposely offend people, because everyone in fucking society just has become so fucking homogenized. Whatever the Charlie Hebdo over.
I was
Charlie Hebdo cover will be Muhammad holding a sign saying "Je suis Charlie."
I work a lot with like disabled people and people with disabilities and people that aren't like able-bodied and learning disabilities, and like part of the thing is like you need to try and help them to live a normal life as possible, which is good because obviously they're deprived in kind of certain areas of their life. But I think with that, I don't know, like the guy was like, he was intelligent and stuff like that. It was just like physically it maybe wasn't suited to him, and or like they could have gave him like an easier job or something. But
well, no,
I just kind of almost felt like
it's the same thing whenever you see in a supermarket, when people are it's having to swipe the things and there's a dude there with one arm. And it's like, well, but he feels normal now. He feels he's part of society. It's like, well, that's great. That's great that you feel normal and that you've got a job. But now my shopping's getting done in half the time. And the problem is you can't be insensitive because it's no, that's the other personal stuff. My point is, and it's not his fault, and it's not my fault for being annoyed that I need to wait longer than everyone else.
It's the people
it's the organisers that are putting this together and deciding that he should sit there because that's what's PC. And
there's other things that he's probably perfectly capable of doing. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't know, but anyway, I think I know what you're talking about as well, because I probably show up the same place as you do, Sam. But
that actually wasn't aimed at anyone. But
all right, okay. There's I was in Tesco's, right, the other week. This isn't about an employee of Tesco's. I was in Tesco's and still another week, and there was a woman, right. So
do you know what? It's like 10 o'clock now. Do you want to go on for like another half an hour or something?
Aye, well, I'll finish this wee story and then we'll see where it goes. Right, so there was the aisle there, right, and there was this woman in a motorised wheelchair, right. So the aisle kind of ends. I feel like I need to set this up for the viewers because I'm kind of drawing a wee picture here.
You need to hold up like that. There you go.
This is a fucking shocking picture. I'm just describing it. Right, so the aisle ended, and then there's obviously the gap between the ends of the aisle and the checkouts. Right, so it's quite busy. It was like a Saturday morning, So
you sounded really Irish there.
Did it?
It's a Saturday morning.
So there was a woman in, and she was with her pal, and this woman happened to be in a buggy, but like it wasn't one of these like a mobility scooter thing. It wasn't like she was like a child's buggy. It was like one of them big fucking bulky buggies, it's got big wheel arches and fucking lights on it and like a pretend plastic grill down the front and a basket and like fucking mirrors, and you're like why? And you see the wee old deers and they ride the wee like dinky things. You're like, right, okay, but this is like a proper buggy. So this woman is like sticking out at the end of the aisle. At the till. And she's like, the till's kind of there, the end of the till. Then there's like a gap where this buggy's sticking out, and she's jutting right and pretty much across the aisle, right? Because like it goes that way. And then a woman comes round and tries to get through, but she can't get through her because there's not enough room for like a trolley to fit through. And she says, nice as fuck, because I was watching it happen. She was like, excuse me, could I just like nip through there? She's like, oh Jesus Christ, this woman just flipped. right? She's like, fucking, like, thing, and she's like, I'm sorry, I was only asking you to move. And it's like, well, it's not my fault I'm like this. And she's like, you don't need to speak to me like that. This woman went fucking ballistic.
They take
and
liberties.
Like, she's just that's taking the piss.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I was like,
and
the woman couldn't have asked her in a nicer way. And like, I'd be the same. Like, especially because you know that like this person, maybe because she's in a buggy, she's in a situation that she personally can't help. Do you know what I mean? So she's kind of being nice about it, but it's just taking the like. She's
no, this is the
piss
thing.
out of it.
There's because of this whole idea of political correctness, and it could be white guilt. European guilt, whatever the fuck it is, that for some reason people are so sensitive and so worried about offending people.
Yeah.
That they end up we're going into a future, and we're here in some cases where you have the people that are the supposed victims who we are so afraid of offending, taking the absolute fucking piss. Yeah. And so you do have, and I've got friends that work in care, and they'll tell you like the disabled are fucking. Like they're the piss takers, you know. They fucking know that they've got like, you know, what's come to them and all that stuff. It's the same with you get so many fucking, you know, girls screaming rape, false fucking screaming rape, all this shit because of these fucking pussified men that are so willing to bend to every fucking whim of these people, and then you've got this black outrage over the fucking anything. And that's because you don't have anyone standing up saying, come on, get a fucking grip. Mm-hmm. You don't have people going out there and purposely trying to offend and trying to provoke people. Mm-hmm. And that's what you need. Christopher Hitchens said this about, you should spend your days actively trying to aggravate and trying to argue unpopular decisions. Because if you're upset about something, there's plenty of time for fucking silence and keeping your mouth shut when you're in the grave. Yeah, yeah. You know, this is the time to be stirring shit up, and not just for the sake of, you know, being an asshole or whatever, but some things need to be brought to light, you know? And there is this weird liberal thing, and I used to consider myself a liberal, but there's this weird fucking thing where now it's just this pussified... Yeah, I'm look how great I am because I let everyone walk all over the top of me. Yeah, and there's I don't know. There's probably loads of reasons as to why this has developed, but it needs to fucking stop. Quote I heard is that the only thing white Westerners fear more than Islamic terrorists is being called an Islamophobe. That's it. I'll tell you right now, I'm Islamophobic. I absolutely am Islamophobic.
I'm arachnophobic, Sam. I don't know.
You're arachnophobic. It's close. But I'll tell you, no, the thing is, it's a hateful piece of work. And unfortunately, there are parts of the world where that hateful piece of doctrine is used as a form of indoctrination.
I seen a weird thing the other day as well, Sam. I was in church the other day, right? Mm-hmm. It was Church of Scotland.
I'll just say as well, just while I'm on that, this whole argument that gets brought up of not all Muslims are bad people. Not all Christians have read the Bible.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
That's what I'll say.
So I was in church the other day, Church of Scotland, and he was talking about what was he talking about? He was talking about like how hunger affects the world, and he's like, oh, hunger could be because like somebody's had a poor crop yield, or like there's been bad weather or flooding in their areas or something like that. And he was kind of just saying like pray for them, but then all the reasons he listed for reasons why people could be starving was terrorism. And he just slipped it in and kept going. And I was like, why did he say terrorism? Like, why? Do you know what I mean? Why is that a direct thing of people starving? Like, I couldn't figure it out. It was just really weird.
I don't know.
It's kind of, that was a weird thing. And like,
well, you can look into that, I guess, and sort of draw some sort of...
I like see sometimes like, because like where I work with kind of
weirdos,
like people that kind of need people that are in care, like a support worker. Like we do take them to church. Mm-hmm. So some like I like to kind of like listen to it and just be like, what are they talking about and all this kind of stuff. And it's so weird because in like obviously like in that the first Zeitgeist film, when they break down their whole religion thing, there's mistranslations in the Bible and all that kind of stuff, and that's like a well regarded thing. They'll like, these people will like say like they'll be like talking about a bit in the Bible, and they say like that's actually a mistranslation. What it actually means is this, and like they're agreeing that there's mistranslations in it, but it's like it'll be about a really small detail that's kind of irrelevant in the grand scheme of things.
I'm kind of like either it's true or it's not, and if there's one mistranslation, that's enough to make me go, the whole thing's bullshit.
Aye,
the whole thing is bullshit. Not worth it. One mistranslation, nah, get it to fuck.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it?
Yeah. That's the problem with doctrine. It's capable of being a mistranslation. And this is the thing as well. This is the argument with Islam, that people try and conflate it to the same way that we look at Christians.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll say, like, you know, like, oh, well, Christians have killed people.
Whoa.
But Christians have killed people. Christians have done bad things. So why aren't we blaming them? The thing is about this argument about if Christians kill people, if Muslims kill people, has Satanists killed people? Has Satanists? I don't think Satanists have. No,
Satanists are never in the news, but they've got the fucking worst name.
Yeah, exactly.
Because they're Satanists.
Who the fuck has ever killed anyone in the name of Satan?
You never see that. Satanists.
You never see it. But the thing is, right? This is the important thing. The Bible, is fucking huge, right? And it take you about a month at least to get through a significant amount of it.
I remember when we were young in primary school, somebody was like, I heard about a guy that read the whole Bible and he went insane. And we were like, oh
it's
shit.
Probably true.
Like we were like in primary, like fucking 5, like fucking hell.
He just read the whole Bible. You kidding? That's the thing. The whole Bible is fucking huge, and so it's incredibly easy to find contradictions.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to cherry pick and to justify why you listen to one segment over the other. And also, like the New Testament is comprised of witnesses. You know, they were witness to what Jesus did. You know, Jesus never wrote anything down that's in the New Testament. Of course, Jesus didn't exist. But anyway, as the narrative goes, the Quran is an entirely different concept.
Right.
The Quran is the direct word of God, according to Muhammad. This is the direct what God said. Mm-hmm. And it's a lot shorter. So it's a lot harder to try, and you have to do what they would call sort of like, you know, aerobatics to try and, you know, jump about and find and make things fit. Okay? We're getting a thing here.
He keeps looking at Muhammad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so
you have to do Arabic.
So what I'm saying is the Quran is a much easier book to read. What's this? Oh, yeah. The Quran is a much easier book to read from start to finish and form a straightforward interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's much harder to try and say, well, you know, we had to skew a lot of information here in order to get to terrorism. Mm-hmm. No, you don't. Yeah, the straightforward, literal interpretation of it is behead non-believers, stone homosexuals, all this kind of stuff. Treat women a certain way. It's a straightforward, you know, reading of it. You have to then really struggle and jump about to try and make it as peaceful as what the mainstream. And this is a weird thing as well that gets brought up. The mainstream paint all Muslims as terrorists. No, they fucking don't.
Yeah.
That gets said a lot. No, not all Muslims are bad people. That's just the mainstream view. No, it's not.
What do you think about these pictures that are emerging of like the Muslims at these marches? Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
That are like emerging of the Muslims at these marches.
Yeah.
Saying like I'm okay, like I'm one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
First time it's happened, and I don't trust it. I'll be honest, I don't trust it.
No.
I've seen a Channel 4 documentary where it's called Dispatches.
Yeah.
And that's the name of they have loads of documentaries, but it's called Dispatches, the Islam one.
Yeah.
They go under and they record moderate Muslims in a mosque talking about how there is a desire for Sharia law, but they have to work within the system.
Mm-hmm.
And work within the system means being nice to the kafir, which is what they call non-believers, being nice shaking the hands, smiling, being a nice moderate Muslim, all the while they're going off and they secretly want, and it sounds conspiratorial, but they do. They were on an undercover documentary. There's footage of this. They were saying they actively want Sharia law. There's a lot of them that want Sharia law, and under Sharia law, you cannot draw pictures of Muhammad. And under Sharia law, you will be beheaded if you leave the religion. Right? This is what they fucking want. And there is, at the very least...
That's frightening. I didn't get that.
There is, at the very least, a portion of the Muslim community that are pretending that they are trying to, just blend in with Western culture. But they actively want Sharia law, and this is where the fucking trouble comes in, because a lot of these moderates, they won't carry out the acts, they won't carry out the atrocities, they won't they'll pretend like they're completely complacent with the Western world and the way that the Western world operates and all that stuff. But when it comes down to it, if there was ever a vote for Sharia law, these people would be out in fucking droves, and you would end up with Sharia law.
Yeah.
And all the fucking retards who are sitting back in their armchairs saying, "Oh, Muslims are not bad people. Lots of them are good." They're all going to fucking let this completely slip by them.
Yeah.
And it's fucking scary what's coming.
Fucking hell.
And this whole fucking... I know it is. And the thing is, I know how it sounds, because I used to be ignorant as well. And I used to not know any of this stuff. And I used to sit and I'd watch fucking people like Tommy Robinson and people who would say things about... And I'd think, is that racist? Or what they doing? Is that right?
Yeah.
Listen, it's got fucking nothing to do with race. And anyone who tells you that if you criticize Islam, that's racist, they are a fucking idiot beyond belief. And they don't even deserve your fucking time. It's got nothing to do with race. It's got nothing to do with fucking bigotry. It has to do with a critical analysis of the fucking doctrine and a historical perspective of everything that's happened. This is... And there needs to be more people standing up for this bullshit. Because the amount of fucking pussified, bleeding heart liberals that are letting this slip by them is staggering. Absolutely staggering. I'm disgusted when I go on my Facebook and I see all these people that claim to be for all the freedom of expression and all this stuff. You're not. You will do what you're told. You'll sit down and you'll shut the fuck up. And whatever fucking the Muslims want, that'll be in place. Whatever the blacks want, that'll be in place. Whatever the gays want, that'll be in place. The gays want marriage, that'll be in place. Why? Because no one is going to stand up and object, because there's too much fucking white guilt. And I'm not saying that there shouldn't be gay marriage. I'm just saying that anything that comes along, we want feminism laws. We want laws that you cannot treat women bad in video games. Hashtag fucking Gamergate. That shit'll happen. And the reason it'll happen is because no one will stand up. Everyone will say, "No, but I'm a feminist too." I mean, fuck yourselves. That's the end of the show.
You heard it here first.
Alright.
Well, we started in a grumpy note and we ended on one too.
Alright, I love you all, really.
That was fun.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, hopefully. At some point.
Alright.
Whenever. See
Right.
you. Thanks for everyone. Bye.
Yeah.
I'm fucking worse.
They grow under the trees that is essentially the Christmas tree.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of things about you dry them out by, either putting them in a sort of stocking and hanging above the fire. Or placing them in the tree. And they were talking about how like the very first Christmas trees that people had, they were all the decorations with Christmas trees, they were all edible. It was all like
and what like countries this kind of originated from? Is that weird?
I can't remember the name of it. It's the
like what kind of area of the world maybe?
I'm not sure.
I seen a lot of weird Christmas things when I was looking up all my Christmas shit, and like a lot of them came from like
it's like
over like Eastern European, over Germany kind of way.
But I don't know what specific countries, because I don't want to say like Norway or something. 'Cause
Aye.
it's, you
No,
know,
a lot of my stuff actually came from the area.
yeah. Well, it's definitely not like America or anything like that. But there's just loads of shit with the mushrooms, and there's the Christmas trees. It was all edible stuff. Like you know, they take popcorn and like put.
I put like on strings.
Yeah, and you'd hang that up, and like candy canes and things like that. And candy canes as well. They're like red and white. You know, the same colours. And if you look at all the early Christmas cards, it happens to be as well. Santa. Yeah, which happens to also be as well the colours.
Yeah,
the mushroom.
And Budweiser.
But and Budweiser. But no, this is I think I was going to prepare for this because there's loads of shit, and I struggled to remember it all. But
I did I've got a lot of wee notes.
There's also there was a thing about apparently if you induce one of these mushrooms and then you urinate, it's still in the urine.
Or so you drink it.
So you can drink your own urine, and it's like they say this is where this idea of eternal life comes from, and like fucking Jesus turning water into wine and all that stuff. And you know, you always get the fountains. You always see fountains with like little like kids peeing in, and it's like a circular thing.
Right.
They're saying this all comes from what they used to do with mushrooms and hallucinogenics, and you know, and it's like that circle of. It's not necessarily like the circle of life, but you know what I mean. It's that
Well, speaking of urine, I found a weird one came up, and it wasn't peeing, but it was pooing, right? And it's called I fucking can't even read my own writing. Kagander or something like that, right? And this is like a traditional thing in like areas of like southern France and Spain and stuff like that. And it's a guy crouching, like it's an ornament that you can buy for like under your Christmas tree, or like a festive kind of ornament. And he's like crouching, trousers down, and there's like a pile of poo under his bum, and that's like a Christmas thing. I don't really know why. I couldn't really find an origin from it. Apparently, the Catholic Church allows it to be in the church in the nativity in certain areas. Like, so you put it in your nativity scene.
Pile of shit anyway. It's conversation because people fucking are dying. People have died, and that's what we're talking about. The big fucking issues in the world, but they're so scary, these issues in the world. Let's try and belittle it by let's try and deviate from it, and we'll joke and we'll talk about cream eggs because that's just as relevant, isn't it? So in the midst of this big fucking back and forth, they start talking about cream eggs, and then Ben's going on this fucking thing like, and he's just Suis creme whatever it is, the fucking French version of cream egg, and you're like, you fucking despicable piece of fucking shit. Are you fucking serious?
I've not fucking seen any of this.
Are you fucking serious? It's absolutely fucking disgraceful, and I'm just absolutely fucking. I mean, obviously we should address it and all that stuff, but it's just going to get me even more fucking angry. And we do have loads of stuff to catch up on, so maybe we should just fucking talk about other stuff.
A lot.
You've got a lot. Can we do, Paul? Tell me the nice things about Christmas.
Well, I actually had a game planned out for the Christmas episode, and I was going to, but I can't do it. The game was that I was going to play you Christmas songs backwards, and you were going to guess what they were.
That's a good idea.
But I couldn't get them until Steve suggested like I can use some fucking audacity to just do it for me. So I've got some Christmas things that actually I told people and what them because I didn't get to use them in the thing with. I don't know what I was fucking thinking. It was just weird Christmas shit I found out. I think that's the fucking most of it. You hear weird Christmas shit, Sam?
Tell me weird Christmas shit, Paul.
Right. In Japan, right, it is a fucking big deal in Japan. What?
Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Before we actually got to Christmas and we were going to have our Christmas episode and talk about Christmas stuff, we fucked up on something else.
What?
Because we always talk about North Korea.
Yeah.
And we missed a fucking massive story. It happened like the day before the podcast.
Right.
So
it's just,
you know, we missed it. We potentially could have known about it and spoke about it, but we dropped the ball on it. It was a big North Korea story. Obviously, everyone fucking knows about it now. The whole Sony hacking scandal and the fucking interview.
I need this cleared up because I don't know what happened. Like at first, I heard that North Korea was like, right, fucking, if you release this film, we're going to take like fucking an action against you for releasing this film because it's like slaying like the great leader or whatever like that. But then like Sony's chatting about hacking things. So did somebody what actually happened?
The hacking thing came first,
right?
And there's still a bit of controversy as to who actually perpetrated the hacking.
Right.
Basically, Sony got hacked, and it was all their fucking personal sort of correspondence.
Yeah.
And you know, you've got Seth Rogen as well. There was like letters leaked to letters. Who fucking writes letters anymore?
Yeah.
All emails leaked,
Emails.
and where he's like talking to people, and it's, you know, they're talking about other people behind their back, and it's kind of, it's not stuff that you really want leaked. So that happened. Yeah,
like,
it's a
it's just
Western
this,
thing.
like-
Aye. And then if they think, well, Christmas is kind of a Western thing, so they're
Aye.
putting the two
But
hands
like
together.
apparently it's this big
Well-
thing. You go and like you book it 3 months in
Yeah,
advance.
my friends went to New York for Christmas,
Uh-huh.
and they were saying it's a similar thing. Apparently, I don't know if I don't think it's all like throughout America, but they were saying in New York at least the big thing is on Christmas everyone goes for a Chinese,
All right.
and that's because they have Thanksgiving
Aye, they
like
have
right before it, you
Thanksgiving,
know.
aye.
So
What is it Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is all about the was it the Pilgrims meeting Indians, and how, you know, they sort of
Gave them blankets with malaria or some shit. Did they not?
there's probably like a real true origin story of
Yeah.
like the first, was it Passover? Not Passover.
Thanksgiving.
Passover is a completely different thing. What's it called? There is the Thanksgiving where they sit around and eat and all that stuff. There's probably like a thing where like, oh, it never happened and all this stuff. But the idea is that they got together, and the Pilgrims and the Indians, and they broke bread and they put their differences aside. and
Like
all
when
that.
they fucking like in World War One when they were having
The
trench
football-
warfare and
yeah,
had
yeah.
a football match.
Yeah, put their differences
crazy,
aside
aye.
and all that shit.
You wouldn't get that nowadays. With the
Yeah.
fucking missiles and that. Technology's ruined that one for us, Sam.
The whole big thing about Christmas as well, a big like Christmas special
Aye.
episode planned where I was going to talk about the fucking they're called,
Mushrooms
yeah,
or
you
something.
get I think it's got DMT in it,
Uh-huh.
the animal mosquito ones, dimethyltryptamine.
I always remember that Pete always talked about that.
Yeah.
Methyltryptamine.
We've had a few people. I've had people commenting wanting me to do a podcast about where like I talk about DMT. I don't know too much
I
about
just
it.
thought you fucking something else I was to ask you. Well, I don't know if I can ask you about it actually.
Okay,
I don't know
well.
if I can ask you about it.
we'll have a think,
I'll just-
and then
I don't know. I was told it for a third party.
okay, maybe
I'll
write
ask you later.
maybe write it
I'll
down
write
then.
it down,
I don't know. But no, so the whole thing was these shamans would basically around December 25th, the winter solstice,
Mm-hmm.
everything's shit, you know, everything's really bad. So because you know, it's just there's darkness and
It's like
snow and fucking, it's hard to really survive. So they used to always celebrate the winter solstice, because it's like if you survive the winter solstice on December 25th is the day that the sun starts to move up high again,
Things are
you know.
gonna get better.
So it's like everything's better. So they celebrate that, and apparently what the shamans would do is go around to people's houses, and he'd have a sack with all the mushrooms in it.
all right.
Right, so he would be kind of like Santa Claus,
Uh-huh.
and this is, again, don't know if it's true, but apparently, if the snow had snowed in the hut, he'd climb through the chimney hole with his sack of magic mushrooms and all this stuff. And the other thing about this, the mushrooms, it's with the trees as well. For him, more of Kim Jong-il that they've cut,
Yeah.
because I feel like you didn't really get to know
No.
too much about
But
him.
I don't know if like the way that like the whole thing about like how he's like be cool Kim, and like the whole thing about he's worried about liking margaritas because they're gay and that, like obviously like that's like totally fucking comedic effect and that. But I was like, I don't know. I think because I like reading about North Korea and like watch all these documentaries and be like, that place is really fucked up and hear about these concentration camps and that. Like I wanted it more gritty, which I obviously wasn't going to get for a comedy with fucking Seth Rogen directing it. Do you know what I mean? But it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good yucks.
I was pleasantly surprised, because I expected it to be a shite film, like Dumb and Dumber 2. Have you seen Dumb and Dumber 2?
That's supposed to be really bad.
It's horrendous.
Aye.
They've literally just carbon copied the
Aye.
outline of the story of the first one,
I've heard
and
that.
just done all the exact same jokes,
Uh-huh.
but just in a slightly different context.
Uh-huh.
Terrible. But anyway, so there was a whole North Korea thing which we failed. We should have fucking spoke
Aye.
about that,
You
because that's
fucking
our
say something
thing.
else about that there, but I can't remember what it was. Where were we talking about North Korea?
Oh well, North Korea have denied as well that they had anything to do with the hacks.
Yeah.
And was it Kim Jong Un called Obama a monkey?
Did he?
I can't remember what his exact quote was, but called him a monkey and said he was a liar.
It's a
and all
wild
this
place.
stuff.
He just does what he wants.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the country, I was like I seen a thing on Reddit today. It was like 40. It was like a an album from like North Korea, like a tourist that kind of went inside, and it was kind of like loads of like behind the scenes kind of stuff, and it was just like, it's just like a fucking third world country or something. It's like some of these places you see out in the fucking arse end of nowhere in Kazakhstan, just like fucking like folk going about with wagons, and like there's no cars in the streets, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
But it puts out this image of like a total modern country with like fucking nukes and all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's wild. It's interesting though, I like it.
Oh, I like a good documentary on North Korea. But we missed, the point was we missed that. We should have,
a good film.
That
though.
should have caught our attention. And then, of course,
that's what I was going to say about it. Eminem was in it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And he fucking the whole bit with him being gay, and I think it's so funny.
Brilliant.
And then do you know what I was watching another like us? They don't like really celebrate Christmas. They'll have like their own equivalent or whatever. But they're fucking like a big deal on December 25th is to go to KFC. Like it's a fucking big deal. Like you need to book tables like 3 months in advance to go to KFC on Christmas Day in Japan.
Wow.
It's crazy.
That's a bit
like
mad.
And they fucking dress the corner up in like Santa gear. And it's just like, I don't know, maybe because it's like they're the Western world, eh?
Japan.
No,
We're the Western world.
we're the Western world, right? So maybe they see like the Western world and like, oh, like fucking like Christmas and like KFC's like such a Western world thing, and fucking I don't know.
First. And although some people think it was like Sony insiders, like Sony, like a Sony whistleblower, you know, just it was an inside infiltrated event or whatever.
That it came out.
But of course, then Obama came out and said no, it was actually North Korea that was behind it, and the reason being was this film, The Interview. So this was before all this. The hacking thing came out before there was any threat of it being pulled from the theaters.
Because it seemed to me like it was the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I remember the North
you know
Korea
why?
thing
It's because
out.
the hacking thing wasn't really as big.
Yeah.
But then when, I mean, it was big, but it wasn't like, when Sony decided to pull it from theaters, then it became like this big story. So a lot of people would have thought that was the first part of the story, and then they might have read about the hacking stuff later. So you know, chronologically, that could
be true. Aye.
But no, Sony were fucking scumbags doing that, pulling them from the theater. That's another fucking scumbag. I think everyone's a scumbag today. I'm just in a bad mood. But
and then they released it on Christmas Day, did they not, in some theatres? In America.
It was supposed to be released on Christmas Day. That was the big plan for it. But then after the hack, and then it was, okay, if you release the film, there's going to be more than just a hack. There's going to, you know, bigger threat and all that stuff. So then they said, okay, because there is threats, and because we've seen things before where that guy went into the cinema, the Batman film, and shot up and all that stuff, Sony didn't want anything like that on their hands, especially if they've been warned beforehand, don't show it or something will happen. You know, we might blow up a cinema here and there. So Sony pulled it. Now that's, if you do that, then terrorism wins. So it's you can't praise Sony, you can't excuse them for doing that. They shouldn't have done that. And
like Kim Jong-un, and that's like obviously how they kind of pictured him. But obviously he's not a guy that can really know what he's like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like if they did like a movie, say something like, I don't know, like Prince. He's like really famous, but he's maybe not somebody that's like out there all the time and like you know exactly what Prince is like.
Yeah.
But like you don't know what he's like, and I don't know if I liked how they done him. Do you know what I mean?
See, but well, when you get first introduced to him, you end up really fucking holy shit. Like you feel so sorry for him a little bit, and he's standing there and he's just gave James Franco's, what's the guy's name? Dave Skylark. He just gave him like a present, and then he's sitting there and he's like, "Be cool, Kim." Like, you just end up feeling really, oh shit, this is like a wee boy. This is like, you know.
I suppose they obviously have to make him funny as well.
I think they totally like. I think they got you to empathise with him, and that's probably what they wanted, you know. And I think they achieved it like quite early on. I think there must have been more of